Hello, and welcome to the Mocha Minutes podcast. I'm Stephanie. Thank you so much for joining me. You can find the Mocha Minutes podcast on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Google Play, TuneIn, Castbox, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Find us on any of those platforms or wherever else you catch your podcast. Also, still soliciting for ratings and reviews. If you would be so inclined, please leave us some 5 stars. Leave us some reviews. Would greatly appreciate it. Also, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Mocha Minutes on all 3 of those platforms. If you want to shoot me an email, give me some feedback. Other than on those 3 places, you can email me at mochaminutes@gmail.com.
Hello, welcome back to the Mocha Minutes podcast. I'm Stephanie. Thank you so much for joining me. This is part 2. Y'all would think there's whole music on, but it's not. We are back to talk about more colorism. So I was very intentional who I talked to this about. So I started off with Sasha. One, because y'all know I love the Bravo breakdown. Bravo breakdown. Y'all know I love her. And also Sasha is very real. So yes, thank you everybody for listening, because one, I just enjoy talking to Sasha, period. So the fact that she started off this series with me about colorism is great, because also she's a working actress. Yes, and she's very loud about what she says. Yes. And she's like, look, I know y'all enjoy my content. There's a lot of like, it's a mixed bag, no pun intended, of people who her content, but she's still like 10 toes down. I'm still black, and I'm speaking, talk, and be loud in my blackness. So in part 2, I wanted to talk to my friends who are mothers of Gen Z. So basically they are young women now. Their babies are young women in this world of Gen Z, social media, tickety talk, the social medias, the hippity hops, everything. So I have 2 of my very, very faves. I'm sorry, everybody who I'm like bringing in for the series is my faves. But 2 of my very, very good faves. So one is my podcast soulmate. Everybody knows her. Y'all know that's my boo thing. I'm like, let me tell you something. You say one crooked word about her, and I swear I'll light your ass up. And y'all know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about my cookie that don't ever crumble. From the
that's right.
Appropriate podcast. Hello, madam. Hello.
Look, I was sitting here like
that is I knew she was talking about you. That is your housewife tagline, honey. I may be a cookie, but I will never crumble.
Come on,
honey. Let me tell you. I really thought she was talking about you.
Listen.
Yes, come through.
Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? I fell in love with you just listening to your voice. She met you. So what you think?
Hey, she gonna start crying up on this podcast, but I have Cook. Y'all know me and Cook talk all the time, so this is just gonna be fun. And my other boo thing, that is my other sister, my Jersey sister.
Hey y'all.
She not as trash as Monique. Ooh.
No,
don't even though binder file.
Even though I grew up 45 minutes from her, and she said she went to an all-white school, so we trying to find an all-white school in her area. So maybe she went to a different area, because the area she grew up in was like blackety black. But I got you.
But you let her tell with her little bird tweet on that bitch. Anyway, so I have my sister. My sister. I have Taria from What Else Is Going On podcast. Taria, she got y'all. She looked like Latoya with these blonde braids. I was like,
Listen.
Let me find out. Is Portia in your house? Because she might try to get some Henny and then turn the cameras off. I'm like, ooh.
Listen. When I saw Latoya come down, I've said it before, and I'll just go on and say it again. When Toya came down in her little outfit for Bolo, I said, I might have to renew my passport and go to Trinidad. But then I came back and I said, yeah, she's inspiring me to get braids. I was all in on Toya. I said, you can show up all the time. Just show up in that. Then when she didn't know what exonerated meant, I turned back around and said, girl.
Excuse me. She also didn't know how to cook. And I was like, how you Trini and don't know how to make bust up?
She said, my mom cooks for me. I said, oh no.
Oh no.
How you not know how to curry? You don't know how to make the bust up roti? What the hell is going on here? No doubles, bitch. Get out. 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 Like,
you lucky I didn't show up in the outfit that she wore with the braids on and sitting on the podcast like, hey,
you could have,
ma'am.
I was like, look, I'm like, don't threaten me with a good time.
I got a plastic chair. These cheeks would have been stuck. Corey would have had to come peel me off by the end of the night.
And he probably would have enjoyed it.
That's
like saying, I'm gonna peel you slow.
I'm a DM y'all. Y'all owe me a chair.
Nope. And he's like, y'all, yeah, that's right. Get us a chair. Wait a minute. He's gonna be like, yeah, get us a chair and a swing. That's what's gonna happen.
Oh Lord. Y'all look.
I'm trying to get him to find the studs. I'm like, where can we hang it? Because I'm coming in.
Isn't that a brick wall behind you?
Listen, no, that's wallpaper.
Oh,
yeah, from
that's
Target.
a nice wallpaper.
From Lowe's, and he put it up.
Oh,
he did a good job.
Yep.
That's the thing. All you had to do was say Lowe's.
He got Lowe's. Listen, I'm gonna get me a sex swing. Corey is gonna be Lois, and I'm gonna be Superman. That's how we gonna
be. Hey.
You know what? I see I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Get the strap. Ooh. I'm sorry, y'all.
I like this phase of my life. I love it.
Don't you love it?
I do. Now, let me tell you something. Like I said, when the panty strike is over and we back to, outside and we're gonna survive the Papadopoulos.
Y'all in these names.
I'm gonna let that first wave post pinwheel.
I'll see y'all in the summer after the cicadas leave because
that's right.
This is the year that they come back. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, yeah.
I definitely probably will. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. I'm gonna stay in the house. Let me get stuff for like 3 weeks because I ain't leaving this house. Right. Coming out? Nope. No. I'm good. I'm like, no. I will have a nervous breakdown if one of them cicadas get in my house. I'm like, nope.
Girl, them things huge.
They are huge.
They big as shit.
The last time they came down, we went to New Jersey for that weekend because I had just moved here and we didn't know what was going to happen.
I was still in college, and it's like
Cookie's laughing.
Girl, if you looked outside, I was working in the bookstore. You look out there, it looked like a goddamn plague.
Oh my gosh.
It was like, nope, I'm good. I was like, yeah. And the good thing is at the time I was living in the city. So you didn't really see any.
Right.
But yeah, where I live now, it's whole
you're gonna see them.
I'm like, don't make me go find an Airbnb in the city somewhere where nothing is.
I'm trying to leave the state. What's the next thing smoking?
I'm sorry. I'm like, so I need 2 weeks off because I'm not coming to work. And I'm not coming.
I'm not coming outside.
I'm not doing this.
I was commuting and they were on the metro riding with us.
What?
Some stops are outside on the metro.
Oh, that's right.
Like people come in, they get
and they getting right on. Look, they getting a ride to their next stop. We gotta take this over here.
Like they getting off the
and it's so often you hear women walking out the room and they just swatting their arms just up the whole time. And then I watched this woman swat. Then why one land on the back of her leg while she was getting in the car? I'm like, I can only imagine she probably. And the thing about it is, they just land on you and die. So that's the problem.
I'm sorry. I
was just like,
they are so big and stupid. It's so big. And that's really what it is. It's like a big stupid bug. And they come and they make noise and they're
right. And it's like,
what the fuck?
And
bro?
That's the thing. It's like because of that, it may be like Google cicadas. I'm like, we have cicadas every summer, but technically they just stay in the tree. And you hear them, and that's it. But these these big dumb bitches, it's like you
I feel like Sophia from The Color Purple. I'm just gonna be rocking in my chair.
I'd be like, I ain't leave. You coming out? Nope. If it ain't in this house, I don't need it. I'm like, no. I'm like,
it's gonna be my last summer in the house. I'm claiming it now. This is the last summer in the house. Next summer,
I'm claiming it with you.
I am going to be.
I'm out. I turned 40. I turned 40 this year in August, so I gotta figure shit out.
Yes.
Yes, I'll be 40.
Welcome.
40.
Welcome to the cook. How old are you?
42. I'll be 43 in December.
Okay, I'm gonna be 43. 44 in April 4th. I don't feel like counting down that long.
Yay! Okay.
So the other part of this, y'all, is that
yes. Let's talk about
it's the trifecta of the fire signs. Mm-hmm. And so Cook and I were talking, and I was like, yeah, because I found out. Shout out to Jay and J.J from Housewives on Display when they told me about what my rising sign and my moon and my ascending. And so they were talking, and I was like, oh, this makes so much sense, because of course I'm a Leo and my moon is I'm a Capricorn moon, which is hilarious. But then see? And then my ascending is a Sagittarius. And I'm like, that makes total sense.
First of all, how about I am a sun, moon, Sag, and then my other one is the Capricorn.
That is so
I'm a true Sag.
You're a true Sag. And I have to say, I've noticed that when it comes to Sagittarius, I get along better with December Sagittarius, if that even makes sense.
You said that because I was just getting ready to say, when is yours? Because Corey is a November 26th Sagittarius, my husband, and my son is a January 10th Capricorn.
Mm-hmm. See, my
brother's a Capricorn.
Yeah, my daughter's a December Capricorn, and they are different.
They definitely are.
Caps.
They definitely are.
They're different. And December Sagittarius, I just think, no disrespect to your husband, because I know he's wonderful and I cannot wait to get to know him professionally, because I respect all people. Yeah. Plus I'm a good friend to have around. Like, I ain't raggedy. So no, but the thing is, I find that
you almost choked me. I'm trying to sneak popcorn. I'm like,
I find December Sagittarius, we turn up a little bit more than the November Sag. Just a little. If you want a reliable Sag, I agree. You need a November Sag.
I agree.
If you need someone who's going to be like, no, but if you need to have fun and kind of cut loose and fly by the seat of your pants, you need a December Sag. Only we can do that.
It must be when the moon strikes, because I will tell you, he's normally very even. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it's me, if maybe if I done burnt some of the edges off with this fire. But he can get to that other side a little bit more. Because when people meet him, like him coming in and waving like that, that wasn't always a thing. It would just be more like, tell him I said hey or whatever. Yeah. He doesn't like small talk normally, but he likes conversation.
And now he's like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
He has to warm up to people. That's a sad thing. We do have to warm up to. A lot of people think we, can talk. We can talk to anybody if we want to. But for the most part, a lot of times, that's why some people think we're a little off, because if you catch me and I'm out being social and I'm socializing you up, okay. But if I really haven't made up my mind about you, the next time I see you, it's like, okay.
Y'all, she backed all the way up. Look,
my girlfriend seen it in person. It's actually hilarious. It's like, hey, how you doing? Okay.
And they think they like, this is my cookie. And they're like, no, ma'am.
Like, what? I'm like, y'all have child. It's hilarious to watch, because they say that about Leos. There's like, are you a July Leo or August Leo? And like, which one do you think I am? You're an August Leo, aren't you? I'm like, I am.
It is a certain amount of confidence.
How can you tell
that an August Leo has?
It's like we're very we're like probably the bossier of the Leos, but everybody comes accept it because we're nice about it.
Yes, Stephanie's going to be running Clubhouse. I'm telling you.
Listen, I asked her. I was like, are you in HR? And she was like, no. I'm like, you should think. I'm like,
and this was before I started in HR. She's like,
no,
I'm not going to HR. I think you should do it. And then when I told her, she's like, and I was like,
yeah.
Because I feel like she fits so perfectly. Like, if talking about the job as a whole, that is Stephanie. Like, totally, like.
because even the way she talks about topics, she will start from a policy level. And it's like, at its core, you shouldn't do this because. And then she'll tell you, and then she's like, but then she'll really break it all the way down to like, see, this is where you fucked up right here. Like if you're in HR, like this is where you fucked up.
See, I'm always about the nuance because it'd be like, I'll
saw you on company property showing your ass, and it's right here. You became a moron, and now that's why you're getting fired. Like you're out.
Hello, I'm like, you can't fuck a stripper at work. You're at work. You can't fuck a stripper, okay? And they'd be like, y'all should mind your business, bitch. You at work.
Someone has to bring you back down to earth.
It's like you are at work, and also y'all. I know it. Y'all season was boring, and y'all needed Kenya. Y'all can't have Kenya and Nene gone. It's not going to work.
A part of me feels almost like they're all in this together. If you notice Portia's language, Portia has never once denied herself. She started out with Tanya saying, I mean, whatever. I'm just don't mess with Kenya, but it's you I'm upset for. And she's never once denied her. So part of me is like,
see, here's the thing. I'm telling everybody, sound of my voice, y'all, I think I made it 20 minutes in. Watch Kenya on Candy speak on it. You might want to watch because I was like, see, I remember this. Because last year around the summer, there was Candy was doing this concerted effort to get stuff out there. She was getting people food and everything during the pandemic. She was trying to help with protesting. And all of a sudden, it got a little quiet because then it was Portia Luther King. And I was like, that's very interesting. She's been Hosea Williams' granddaughter for her whole life. So y'all can miss me with this. Like, see, she's getting smart. I'm like, I'm sorry. She has been Hosea Williams' granddaughter her whole life. Y'all can miss me with this. And it's like, I think I was in a clubhouse room and I was like, I like Portia. I really do. I think she's fun. She is really good for the show. But what y'all will not do is play in my face. I'm like, see, y'all saying she has grown so much. I'm like, there's growth, but there's not much growth as you would like to think. I'm like, oh yeah, she's just not saying dumb shit anymore.
Yeah,
that does not mean that she's grown. She has not, because she's the same chick that was like slut shaming Candy and Kenya. Why y'all acting like she did? And also Peter. So why are y'all sitting here doing this? I'm like, baby, I've been watching this way too long.
Stephanie,
I've seen so much shit about the household. I'm like, I love Portia. I want
Stephanie, you are a wordsmith. So Stephanie is a nuance. First of all, every time I hear somebody else say nuance, I feel like they got it from you. I don't care if it was somebody over on the other side of the room.
Come on.
Why are you laughing? When I hear people say, and then when
you just got that from Stephanie.
I'm not gonna lie. When I hear white,
you've been listening to Milk Minutes, bitch.
Stephanie,
don't deny it.
Stephanie takes possession of that word in such a way that when I hear white people say it, I'm like, y'all know that word, sort of like it's a black colloquialism because Stephanie made it so.
Who told you that? Who told you that?
Like, how you know that? Y'all been listening to Stephanie. But look, Stephanie, you being a woman who likes nuance and is a wordsmith. We know slut shaming technically means putting a woman down because of her sexual, whatever she's doing, sexually. Technically, Portia just called out she was dating a one-eyed African. Now we know the implication, but she did not shame her.
Oh, she called her a slut from the 90s.
Okay, so you got me on that.
So homegirl, and then when she said Peter, she told Peter that she was paying his waitresses in peanuts, and I was like, see,
that's right.
He only had to beat your ass once. You know she don't tell you nothing about Peter no more. Please don't.
First of all,
please don't let Pretty Lady to beat her ass because you better stop playing with Cynthia.
Cynthia beat up Portia.
Yeah, she need her right in her stomach. I said, girl, and that was the first and last time. Notice we ain't gotta repeat this. And that's why I always had an issue with people telling Kenya, you better shut up before Monique beat you up. And y'all don't ever tell Kenya that. Ever. Y'all don't ever tell any of them ladies that. It's any like, girl, shut up. I know the colorism. That's why I fucked the basketball. I don't watch that shit anymore.
Let me tell you, I stopped. I couldn't even start this season.
I didn't start.
And then also because there's so many things going on in the world and with that I felt like my bandwidth, like something happened a dam just broke open and I can't I can't take it all on because I'm like James Baldwin said, to be a Negro and conscious in America
It's always
is to always be in a state of rage. And that's what I'm
Always.
feeling now. And I'm like, I don't want to be in that space. So I need to sometimes back up off of things. And I'm surely not getting ready to watch Shawnee and Evelyn, who is now Afro Latina. I mean, because you're not black. You're not
She
black.
is so full of shit because she's lying. I'm like,
Hold on.
Evelyn Lozano. Evelyn
She said she was
Lozano.
Afro
Now,
Latina.
mind you, how long has she been on that show? Said she's Puerto Rican. Somebody asked her like a year or so ago, "Are you black?" And she said no. Now all of a sudden, you Afro Latino, you a Afro Latino girl. Fuck you. You would see.
That's where this is where I become problematic because I was.
See, here's the
I
thing.
was gonna say something.
See, no,
I'll put it in the chat.
Cook. I'm like, y'all ain't canceling my cook. Only I can cancel cook. So, and that's not gonna happen because I ain't gonna cancel her. But I will say that somebody did bring up the whole thing with her and OG. OG technically did not push her. Evelyn's ass fell in the bushes. She didn't put her hands on him. Like, and y'all actually segregated her and put her in a closet because she's dangerous. I'm like, you want to know why? Because she actually could beat y'all ass. She actually,
and Evelyn, even if she put her hands on you,
do so much right now. Goodbye, Cook. And that's it. Mute her.
You're not gonna.
No,
mute
I'm not
me.
telling you. I'm not.
You ain't gonna mute me.
I'm not gonna mute you.
You're not.
I just can't with her.
But that's why I put it in the chat because
I know that's fine. I ain't telling y'all what she said, and don't even DM any of us and ask him. Samaj, I know you're listening.
Samaj will DM you and say, "What did she say?" Okay,
because if you listen
Samaj,
to my
I'm not
show,
breaking fire sign code. So
no, we're not breaking the fire sign code. We're not going.
I'm just gonna say, if you listen to my show, you know how I.
So y'all, we are here to talk about colorism, but this is the reason. So all three of us are brown women. We are visibly black women.
No mistaking.
There is
I've never been mistaken for anything.
Can I just tell you, there was a one time once, like I was talking to a guy on a dating site, and he said, "Oh, what are you mixed with?" And I was like, What do you mean? He was like, "Oh, because I mean, are you like American, also African?" I was like,
let's talk about why we get that. Let's talk about why we get that.
So I was like, huh? I've never been asked what when he said it, I was like, I am so confused. What are you talking about?
I get that.
I was like, oh.
When I'm mistaken for someone, when they ask me if I'm of Caribbean descent or African
descent, okay.
They're asked what they're saying is they're saying it because it always used to be before them was, you're so intelligent or articulate. Like are you?
Oh.
Yeah, like because African American is stupid.
See,
but when they talk to me and they're like, "Oh, you're so intelligent."
What are you mixed with? Okay, so can I tell y'all something? And this has been bothering me for a little while. When we talk about the model minority, and I use myth very loosely because people like to use myth literally. Myth being it's fake and it's not. So that is the thing. Myth being that people are telling people that, oh, you came here and made something of yourself. You should actually, you should talk to these American Black people. Can I just say that sometimes, not all the time, but a lot of times it's not just East Asians that they do this to. They do this to Africans too.
Yeah.
Because it's like we are the visible same thing. So it's like a lot of times you'll see Africans who will come here and then white people are like, oh my God, look, you just came here and became a doctor. You should talk to these American Black people. And it's like, wait, what? Because it's like when it comes to when you hear American Black people talk about Africans and they come off cocky, it's like this is the nuance for me.
Yes.
For us that were born here, we don't know if we're Igbo, we don't know our tribe, we don't know where we're from. It literally was beaten out of us. But if you're coming straight from Africa, you know exactly where you're coming from. No one has ever told you that your culture is wrong, dirty, you should not respect it. You did not come to this country, especially if you're like 1 or 2 generations removed from being in Africa, that you can't look white people in the eye. We were told we couldn't look them in the eye. And if something happened to us.
Because of colonialism as well, it was a different kind of oppression. It was oppression. They were oppressed. They are oppressed.
It was different.
For us, we grew up under a brutal system.
Correct.
And the thing for me, that always kills me the most is how African Americans, for the longest they were saying if they just valued education. And I'm like, sweetie, baby, we built HBCUs, honey.
For that reason, because we couldn't go
we
regular
have
institutions.
Upwards of 150 years old that we built to educate ourselves
because we weren't allowed. And most HBCUs are in the South.
South.
Yes.
And it was
in the West Coast, they're like, we don't have HBCUs.
Bingo.
Because they were only in the South.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why HBCUs are in Maryland. I'm like, that's how I'm like, yo, we are the South. We have HBCUs
for Black people to go and be educated, and that's why another thing, like sidebar, that's why I don't trust West Coast niggas. But I'm not gonna
hey, you need to stop it. See, there you go. So when I hear the model minority, sometimes it's applied to Africans. It's like not South Asians, which is very, very interesting because they are Asians.
Africans,
certain Africans, especially if you come here and you make something of yourself. So it's kind of like every time it's like y'all are telling people who actually immigrated here, we did not. We came here as property. You cannot keep posting that up and saying, be like them. I'm like, they came here as people.
And not only that, they came here as people and they get the scholarships, the business developments, the minority grants. They will give it to them, the model minority, before they give it to us.
Right.
If you look at that paperwork, you could be filling something out online for whatever, and it'll change if you accidentally click Asian or accidentally click something else, but not Black. So
it's just Black / African American.
And when white people talking about Black Lives Matter, I'm going to say I've seen a lot of white people who find there were videos of actual people from Africa telling Black people, get out of here with your Black Lives Matter. And white people would say, see, they don't agree, but y'all don't know the history between Africans and African Americans over here. You don't know that there is a history between us. So,
and it's definitely pitting us against each other. And that's just white supremacy. And the thing that's the part that kills me. It's like, we all do it. It's like, it's interesting to watch people point certain things out and then not realizing what they're doing is also operating that. Because we're going to get to the Meghan and Harry interview. It has been burning my pussy all fucking week to listen to these people be very, very weird.
Burn pussy lip, 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 burn pussy lip.
Y'all such a mess.
I was getting ready to sing burn. I was gonna be there. Burn. Let it burn.
What is wrong with y'all? See, y'all lucky my face is starting to hurt. Anyway, so we talk about colorism. The term colorism, that wasn't a term that we had.
It's not even in the iPhone. You notice that when you type it, it comes up as it's spelled wrong.
Correct.
Like when you type,
why you keep bitch, I know what the fuck I said.
Right.
I said colorism. What the hell? I was like, what are you doing? So now we have the words. We didn't have the words before.
Yep.
But now for both of you, because I have no children, I just have my nephew who I would take a bullet for. And also I feel like he would shoot somebody for me. So and he's 6. So get the hell up. Pew, pew. Child, please don't play about Christopher, okay? He'd be like, the fuck you think? Girl, get the fuck out of my way. That boy taught himself Arabic.
When you, that is.
And I swear, Stephen, how did he learn this? He just went on YouTube Kids and then he started writing in it. He's writing in the sand. I'm like, so that's how legible he's writing it with someone who actually speaks Arabic. Is like, did you teach him that? No. How did he learn it? I don't know.
Young, Black, and gifted. That is
what we all are. Just learn, and now he's going to school, and it's just like, oh my God, my baby's in school. Okay.
I love to see it.
So
I told you he'd be fine.
He kept his mask on. I'm like, see, he don't have the problem with not keep because one, he's small, but also he's on the spectrum. So a lot of people are like, oh, he probably has a problem. Like he doesn't. He just keeps it on. He don't ever have a problem with that kind of stuff. But he also, the one thing he does have a problem with, the Family Feud bell, that little ring on it, he will run screaming from the room.
Wow.
And it's like, it just bothers him. That bothers him. It's like so much so that he don't even hear it. He hear the music and he run out the room. I was like, that's interesting.
the noise is probably very,
it's traumatic for him. And I'm like, ooh, no.
The loud, yeah.
So it's like, that's my baby. So as mothers, and both of you, because one, I was also very intentional about this, that I said, I have to have this conversation about colorism with darker skinned women.
Mm-hmm.
Because one, it seems like we always see this shit. And also we can actually speak about it. We have long histories with colorism before we had the word. And now you're somebody's mama. So did you ever sit with your, and this is for both of you, did you ever sit with your daughter and like explain to them what colorism is? Or did you wait until something happened and then you explained it?
No, she pretty much pointed it out and understood it.
Wow.
That's because Mina's a genius. I came with her.
How old is she? How old is she?
She's 14 now. She'll be 15 at the end of the year. But she watches a lot of social justice content.
My child, Lord, these babies. I'm excited about the future because my daughter,
So she's found the different sides of TikTok. So she knows like, she's not on white TikTok. Like,
honey.
She's been to Sussex TikTok. She's been to LGBTQ TikTok, Black TikTok. Like she can navigate TikTok pretty well in certain areas. But I think for her, she probably noticed it in programming. I would say the biggest example really is Zendaya.
Okay.
Shake It Up.
Mm-hmm.
Like from back in the day. And
I remember that.
Sky Jackson.
Yep.
From Jessie. I mean, if you can look at the trajectory of their careers, I think.
Wow.
But I mean, she still loves her some Zendaya. But I think also for her, you guys know Amanda Steinberg? She kind of went through
yes, I do know
some things, so I think for her that was a discussion, for her, she was aware of it, being old enough to be in social media and be aware of what was being talked about. So I think that there's been enough examples for Gen Z
to know.
Yeah, they're very aware. And also too, having a burner account on Twitter that I know about, whatever.
Mine.
You got a burner account. I know you have it, but it's fine.
Oh yeah, she told me she had a burner account, and I was
fine.
just like, okay. She's like, I just happened to talk shit. She was really using it to troll Trump supporters.
Oh, that's fantastic,
baby. Yes.
She was.
So yeah. So Taria,
that is amazing.
Your daughter.
24 and 16, get ready to be 17. And I didn't put when my 24-year-old was little, I didn't put a word to it. But what I did do, I put a word to, I talked to her based off of the feelings that I had grown up going to all white schools. And then having friends who were lighter skinned. And when that song Mint Condition, Pretty Brown Eyes, remember that song? My daughter's grandfather used to sing that to me. And he and my friend who was very light, with light eyes, would say, she don't have pretty eyes. They're meaning songs like the song is like for my colored eyes. And he would say, no, I'm talking about the shape. I'm talking about the shape. And then I said to my mom one time, I wish my eyes were lighter. And she said, and I'll never forget this because this was one of the first times, having a Black mom is not having your June Cleaver mom. Yeah. We're not having discussions about certain things.
Right.
They're not trying to be warm and fuzzy. They're trying to prepare you to be a Black woman in this world.
Yeah.
So, but she took her glasses off. She was driving actually. And she said, Taria, you have beautiful eyes. Your eyes look just like mine. So instantly after that, I felt like I had the most pretty eyes in the world because they look like my mom's. So when my daughter was coming up, I would tell her when I would get her dressed, you are so pretty. You are so pretty. Don't let anybody say, and I would keep telling her that. And then she started going to these schools in Jersey that were like more heavier on the white side. Then we moved to Maryland in an area that was becoming more Black, but the schools were still the elementary predominantly white. And then she got into and when I tell you I'm telling her because I told my husband, you need to tell her too, because if she don't get it from you, she gonna look for that kind of love from somebody out there. So we would tell her how beautiful she was and how this, but I would notice when she would go spend the summer at my husband and I got together when she was 2, but she legally has his last name.
Okay.
But she would go to her other side of the family's house and they had a pool and she would be out there all summer. And her grandmother was like, girl, you about as dark as a frog. And I was like, you are beautiful. And I know it was supposed to be a joke, but this is a young girl who goes to school with all white girls who can wear their hair out, but I put her hair in bows. So I'll never forget in high school, I started noticing that my little lip glosses and stuff were missing. And she was like, I found them in her room. And she was like, I think I'm ugly. I just wish I was either your color or Beyonce's color. Beyonce's way lighter. And I stopped her right there. And I said, what have I told you all these years? You are beautiful. So and even now I still have to reinforce that with her. My 16-year-old, I started telling her, but it's almost like she also walked in it too. She loves her natural hair. She loves to get twists. But she did tell me last summer, the boys at her school, she used to wonder why they liked the Afro-Latina or light-skinned Black girls. But then she realized a boy will come along that will love the chocolate skin that she is in. And I've always told her, you're beautiful, you're beautiful, you're beautiful, you're beautiful. So never putting a word to it with my oldest one, but my youngest one was born knowing the word basically.
Yeah.
So I've just tried to reinforce to them that they're beautiful no matter. Every hair texture is beautiful. Even if you're bald, it's beautiful. Your cheekbones are beautiful. The way your nose is shaped is beautiful. Those dark eyes are beautiful. Everything about us is beautiful. And we don't have, our acne don't show up like on lighter skinned people. I mean, if nothing else. Just saying, we don't get red.
I'm sorry, that's so rude. So no. I'm really glad to hear that because I think when you think about I think it's also because of like places like TikTok and Twitter where people can actually get that. Because when we were younger, it's like we didn't have it. Like people, I think someone didn't believe me when I said when I was in high school, when it came to Escape, Tiny was the pretty one because
yes,
and someone's like, that's not true. That. And I was like, true. Yes,
back in the day. Oh, Tiny was the pretty one.
Tiny was the pretty one. Yes. She don't look the same the way she did then. And also I'm like, I tell everybody, Candy does not look any different than she
and Candy was my favorite. Candy was the one I would try to mimic her style, like the way she wore her hair and the hat. I thought Candy visually, I thought Candy was the prettiest one, but the boys around me and the girls thought it was Tiny.
Right. I was like, yo, Candy looks the same. Even with Destiny's Child. I'm like, this is like, this is really our showing our age.
How's everybody like looking past Kelly Rowland?
Yes, I was like Kelly Rowland.
Kelly,
she's so
pretty. I'm like, baby, she has been pretty.
Right there.
She was right there. She was the one who had the short hair. She has always been
with
them
stunning cheekbones in that face.
It's like Kelly been stunning since day damn one. And I was like, this is Kelly has not changed. She just added more hair or less hair. But
she can have an articulate conversation.
Absolutely. I was sitting here like, y'all don't understand the nuance to this. And then if you mention this to man, they'll bring up like Al B. Shore, which, okay. Genuine, which, okay.
Genuine could ride a pony. I'll give it to him. But that's like, about, they're not looking, even showing our age more, Kid and Play.
Girl,
Play was always the fine one.
Fine one. I was like, damn, he fine. I was like,
I remember hearing all my friends say, yo, ain't Kid cute? And I remember,
like, no,
I remember saying yes. And then I stopped and said, no. And I knew in my mind why I was saying it. And I was like, no, Play is actually the fine one. But the word that, I don't know if y'all family probably used it, but I know a lot of Black families did. So my uncle used to date only lighter skinned women. And he would say, no, I don't know that. My grandma would say, your color. Yes. You are color struck.
Oh yeah. I got a few.
You only like red bones.
I have a few in my family. And if that's the thing, like I'll let them know, like, you know, don't come around here asking for nothing. You ask them white women you lay up with to bail you out, baby. Because no, if you gonna lay down with them, you should be benefiting anyway.
No.
But the thing about it, with Salt and Pepper.
Listen, you better, if you don't.
Salt was the pretty one.
Correct.
And when they talked about Peppa, she was fast.
She was
yes.
She was the overly sexual one.
Yes.
Peppa was.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
She was the one that was kidding. And it was like, so you're acting like we don't notice this. We notice what y'all doing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Peppa, she's so aggressive. I'm like, but her and Solid are literally saying
the same thing.
And even take it back further to Roxanne Shante. If you look at all variations of Shantae's that came out after her, they were all red bone.
All of them.
All of them.
All of them.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like, oh my gosh. It's like, oh my gosh, really?
But isn't it interesting that we knew it? Like there was something innate. So when they talk about that, and our ancestors' trauma was passed down to us, we couldn't even put a word to it. No one was talking about it, but we felt it.
Correct.
We knew it when we saw it.
We knew what it was. We knew what
you
it was.
You felt it in the family. You noticed how, like, if you had a light-skinned cousin who was a male, that was grandma's baby.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you,
it never failed.
I'm gonna see if I can find
murder.
I'm gonna find a picture. I have two family members that are fraternal twins. One very light, one very dark. And I remember growing up as a little girl, I thought my cousin, well, it's my cousins that were the darker twin was flawless. I mean, she was, and her eyes just like I know it sounds corny, but like shine like diamonds. Like she was just always but the lighter skinned one was treated different. I just found out last year, my mother-in-law, and I think I told Stephanie this, Cook, I did not know, my young mother-in-law who was 71, she lived in DC, she grew up in DC. She had a younger brother who was dark-skinned, an older sister who was like an Ashley complexion. And then her sister older than her was probably like my complexion, maybe a little darker. My mother-in-law is my complexion. My mother-in-law and her darker sister had to sit on the back porch and eat dinner. Her light-skinned sister got to sit in the kitchen and eat dinner. And I just found this out.
Oh, that's real.
A lot of did y'all family talk about it? My grandmother grew up. My family's from Tallahassee, Florida. My mom's side, my mom was born there. My grandmother and my aunts, when I would want to ask them questions, they would almost get angry. They will not speak about it. And I said something traumatic had to happen. I wanted to go to Florida State. My uncle, God rest his dead, my grandmother's brother. No, you need to go to FAMU because Florida, they used to not let us in there. And my mind at the time thinking, but they let us now, we should go, not knowing what all came with that.
And it wasn't until I got into the workforce that I understood that why, as a little girl, my grandmother was like, don't even mention the word feminism to me.
Wow.
That part.
She was like, don't even mention, she was like, there's no such thing as feminism. She was like, that's just something for them to be on par with the white man. And it got nothing to do with you.
Jesus.
And I was just like, I mean, she used to, and I used to think my grandmother hated white women. But no, she was fed up. Wow. She was fed up because like being in the NAACP, being a domestic worker, sexual assault being a very real reality. You know, my grandmother, like in our family, we have family members that look white.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so of course, you know, they don't talk about going to work getting raped or them going to work in groups. Like it was more that carpool was more about safety, and convenience, because the police could pull you over and pull you out of that car on the side of the road and do whatever he wanted to you. Nobody say nothing.
Nobody.
Yeah.
It wasn't against the law. It was like you could rape Black women. It wasn't
at will.
Considered sexual assault. And there was nothing that you could do
about
it. And it was like you couldn't even address.
Couldn't even think about.
You had to leave your body pretty much.
You had to literally just eat it.
Yeah.
That's right.
They act like it just didn't happen. So when we have light-skinned family members, they're like, oh my gosh. And it's like, how do you think they got here?
Some of it, there's some trauma around some of the appearance of light skin, but they don't talk about that.
Can I tell you,
Oprah's
long-term boyfriend, Stedman, you see how light he is, right? He's connected to a family in Jersey. And the family, every single one, they all look his color. There was inbreeding.
And everyone has And then see down here where I'm from, it's like the name is like a proctor or some other name, but everyone's got like a group of light-skinned people in their town.
Ours is
that are like inbred and don't they nobody
everybody know
they are.
In New Jersey,
everyone knows
who they are. You can look at them and identify and say
it's a community story. In an a predominantly African American community. You have a group of light-skinned people. And we like,
you must be a filler.
You must be
you must be a filler.
You must be a Miller. You must be one of them.
Right.
Because they don't marry dark-skinned people. Like they all light-skinned, they all have long, like
yeah.
Like it's
long, thin hair, some of them. The ones I saw.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be honest. And they had a town named after them. Their last name, they would say, oh, they must be Goulds. It's called Gould Town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they got a
town.
There
were towns and communities back in the day during Reconstruction where light-skinned people if you were darker than a brown paper bag, you were not allowed to live.
Listen. And we now I knew where Corey's last name. It's really some of the people now. My maiden name, y'all, for those listeners, my husband's like it's Faison. Most older Black people and people from the South say Faison, right? People
not Faison,
and the younger people up north. So I knew that originally his dad's family was from Faison, North Carolina. Guess what's in Faison, North Carolina? A plantation.
What?
Faison, North Carolina. And on the bottom, it says like plantation or something. So clearly, and if you would see Corey's dad was, you could say like a fair with a tan. His younger sister, fair. His dad, the light brown eyes that he has. His younger sister, green eyes. So you knew the grandmom was like almost white. So then his mom's side, it was so beautiful to me. I've never seen so many different shades of Black people in my life, all in one family. But it also made you wonder the history. And I never knew it until last year when she told me about how she had to eat. Y'all, when I wanted to go to when I thought I wanted to go to Florida State, my cousin was a year older than me. We went down for the family reunion and tricked my uncle. She was like, you gonna stay the night on campus. My grandmama and her grandmama were sisters. You gonna stay the night on campus with me. Y'all listen, hear me when I tell you. I went to an all white, pretty much private school, then that Christian school, then elementary school. When I left there, was still almost all white. High school was mixed. When I stepped foot onto Florida A&M University, I seen every color chocolate. I didn't want to see no other. Listen, I was like, I didn't know. I knew we came in those colors, but to see us,
but you had never seen it.
Walking with backpacks, studying, sitting in a lounge, talking to each other. They're playing in the band. Where I come from, there was corny, like not trying to be funny, but corny white kids playing the band. I'm watching the Florida
Baby,
A&M
I went to Towson
band.
University. I feel your pain.
Where the band, people come to the games to see the band and not the football team, FAMU. So to be submersed in all of that, even though it was just for one night, because we called the house and my uncle was like, I said, hey, Uncle Michael, can I speak to grandma? He said, no, you ain't spending the night. So then we tricked to have my cousin call and ask for my grandma, and I spent the night. But let me tell you something.
She's so sad.
Hey, Lucky, listen, if I had had the whole summer, I probably would have got every man pregnant on campus.
Okay. You know what? I can't with you. You a mess.
But it was just so, I think white people don't get that. If I didn't know y'all and we were at a big formal meeting say we worked at the same company, and if I were to walk into a meeting and see y'all, it would almost to me feel like an instant, hey girl, how you doing? Just like and then you can tell the ones who don't want to be a part of you because they kind of, like in the workplace. So there's a connection.
Well, I work in HR, girl. I have stories.
So when I see another Black woman in a place of business where I am, I feel like there should be an automatic, hey girl. But then you get your Candace Owens and you're like, Candace Owens. And then you're like, I see where you are. Okay.
Can I just tell y'all, it's just so interesting to watch because as I'm in HR and I hear things and I'm just like, girl, man. Or better yet, on the timeline, because a lot of people, because all of us, everybody works, everybody has a job. And there are people who are discussing what HR's role is. I'm like, y'all really don't know what HR's role is, and I can tell because I'm like, because it's good to have discussions with friends. I value the friends I get to have conversations with because we had a discussion. It was me and Rick, and I was like, so I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I see people like having this discussion about HR. I'm like, oh baby, that's not HR's role. We only enforce the policies that's already been discussed. I'm like, we do not hire and fire nobody. We tell you how you do it. Like, one, please don't. And like, obviously, y'all don't know what an at-will state is. Maryland is one of them, baby. Do you know they do not have to tell you shit? They can actually fire you. I'm like, you're in an at-will state. You might be ice skating uphill to get your stuff back, but best believe at-will states, that at-will employment, that shit is the devil. Because you just like, this is so not fucking, it's like, it's so not fucking fair. Also, a lot of policies are broad and narrow at the exact same time. It's like, baby, it's narrow for them to try to get you in it, but it's also very broad for you. It's like, baby, you can use this to your advantage, but a lot of people just think it's the other way around. They're like, baby, it's not. And I'm like, I get it. Because one, I'm a Black person in HR. So I find myself going like, yeah, I'm gonna tell you this. I feel like I'm Robert Parr and The Incredibles looking around like, okay, so what I'm not going to tell you to do is do this, 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 and this, and this. I'm not going to tell you to go up to the third floor and do this, 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 and this, and this, and this. I'm not going to tell you to do it, and I do it anyway. So it's kind of like we trying to help you because especially in this day and age, I don't want to see nobody out of work. Right. But best believe, as a Black person in HR, I know that I find myself writing emails, reviewing it, reading it out loud.
Oh my gosh.
Here and there, because as a Black woman, I gotta take my tone back. And it burns, overcooks my grits when some white person gets shitty with me in an email.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you.
Any of that. They are not checking their tone. No. I had to dig into my ass. I'm like, so what you're doing right now, you need to not direct that towards me. And we have to be overly professional because we're all of a certain hue that there's a part on the Black spectrum. You go over a certain point. It's like, okay, anytime you even talk like this, you were always aggressive. It's like, wait, calm down. Stop attacking me. Wait, stop. Calm down. I mean, calm down. I'm like, what makes you think I'm not?
I had the police called on me at one job that I was leaving. And my homeboy that I had just met, he was Black. He was like, look, you left your wedding album up here. Because I was like, I'm coming in. It's my stuff. I'm coming in. I don't care nothing about her. Correct. He was like, no, I'm bringing it out to you. Yeah. She called the police because I was like, I'll be up there to get my stuff. And she said I was aggressive. Mm-hmm. You called the police?
Can I just tell you, this is a long time ago. I was a temporary employee. I was filling in for someone. And then I ended up getting permanently hired.
Okay.
And it was like a big process, a financial process. I had made a mistake. So the person that was training me decided to shit on me in an email, and she sent it to me. Not the person that she was sending it to. And she said, I mean, if you want to talk about it, we can. Yeah, there's nothing to talk about. I literally had to get the fuck up away from my desk and walk away. I was like, if I do this, they will carry me out.
Yes.
Because the thing, at the time, I was sitting here like, I felt like, because when I was the only Black person in that department. This chocolate Stephanie, this fat Stephanie was the only Black person in that department. And I was like, they would have carried my ass out because I was about to beat her ass. And all that time, I was like, I feel like they're sitting around talking about me.
Yes.
And then that actually confirmed it. And that was the part that pissed me off.
Stephanie, look into my eyes.
Please, Cook. I know what you're going to say, Cook. Please. Thank you, Cook.
I'm looking at you.
She sent it to you?
Yes, that bitch did. Honey, I kept that goddamn email. It was just like, what? It was just like,
and I bet you could tell based on the language, y'all have had conversations about me. Like you said, it's like,
because she called me the new girl. I was like,
I have a name.
And so she was like, oh, and I was like, girl, I don't give a shit about you fuck this job. I was going to beat her ass. And it's like, I can't do that because I have to be very, very cognizant. I can't pop off the way that I want because of my skin tone, because of my size, because of my gender that I identify with. And it's like, I am not going to do this with you. And the thing about it is, when you tell white women that, they don't get it. They're like,
no.
What do you mean? No, I can't, because I'll always be aggressive. There will always be someone telling me that my tone is wrong, that I am too loud, or I'm talking too much. I'm insubordinate, or you should give people the benefit of the doubt. No.
I was told I was disrespectful, and I was
what?
Good, because under no circumstances I needed to be unequivocally clear. I do not care what your position or your title is. You will not talk to me that way,
ma'am.
And we could go.
And we can go. It's like, that's it.
It is what it is. It just is what it is, honey.
Because it's kind of like you just go. You have to like. A dope woman that I went to college with named Rebecca Dupas put this in my lexicon. I have to weigh my words.
Yes.
You always like, how much weight? I'm like, I have this much weight that I can put out. How many words can I use that won't take me overweight? So sometimes it's like, most times I have to weigh my words.
I do that even now. And I used to say, hi, I'm just checking in. And I was like, instead of saying, hi, checking in, is that ready for me yet? If somebody's doing a report, it was like, hi, I'm just like, I'm not coming at you. I'm just checking in. Mm-hmm. And I stopped doing it.
Right? You stop.
Because I tell my daughter right now, even if something small, it could be something simple, and somebody may bump into her. Oh, sorry. Mm-hmm. I said, you will not say you're sorry unless you do something to someone. Women, and especially Black women, why are we walking out the door first, and a white woman acts like they don't see us, or a white man walking in the door, and now they bump into us and we're saying, oh, sorry. No, first of all, I'm not moving anymore. I'm sorry. I don't move on sidewalks anymore. You just walk through me and then we go have a problem.
Period.
I don't move anymore. I'm not moving for y'all no more.
Can I tell you, my mother did that. See what you're saying? My mother took me out of that habit. And I think I was in like my late 20s. I would always be like, sorry. She's like, Stephanie,
that's her. Yeah.
Come here. Come here. Stop saying that you're sorry. You're not sorry. You are not sorry in any way. Stop apologizing. Stop saying you sorry. You not sorry.
Like, we're sorry for that my existence is disturbing you. That my existence made you bump into me. Yep.
Right. She was like, stop saying you're sorry about everything. Stop saying you're sorry. You're not sorry.
I catch her on every turn because I want her to get it now. I'm like, stop saying you're sorry.
It was in my late 20s. She was like, stop doing that. Stop doing that. Stop doing that.
You telling my child that now. I'm like, girl, stop saying you're sorry. But she's always like, well, I'm sorry. I'm like, no.
Right. Exactly.
Cut that shit out.
It's like, we're done apologizing for, that's the thing. It's like, for Black people, we've had to apologize for literally existing. I'm like, I'm not sorry.
Right.
I'm fabulous. Get the fuck out of my way.
I'm supposed to be in this space, and I'm going to occupy this space. And if you don't like it, too bad. And okay.
But no, it's interesting. I did not struggle with whiteness until I got into the workforce professionally.
That is so crazy.
However, colorism has been a major part of my upbringing as far as beauty and standards.
So, go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Wow.
So I was one of those, you are cute to be dark skinned. People. I was cute to be dark
skinned.
That's exactly how it was said.
Yep.
Oh, you cute. Oh, you're pretty to be fat. You're pretty to be dark skinned. Girl. I only know pretty dark skinned people, so okay.
When they were talking about, I remember like sitting around. Did y'all watch Moxie by chance?
Not yet. My daughter did, and she said we're gonna watch it together. Did you watch it with your daughter, or did you? Because I'm gonna watch it with her. We need to
watch it by myself.
She watched it,
and I have commentary. Y'all need to call me.
Okay.
Okay.
But
so,
you need to watch it too, Steph.
Yes.
Okay.
You need to watch it.
Yeah, I got to work up to watching the Pharaoh versus Allen.
Me
I've
too.
only been halfway through
First
the
of
first episode.
all-
I was like, I can't do this today. I had to watch. It was like I had to watch the Meghan and Harry interview twice because I was like, see, I don't like this, and we're gonna get to that. But
too many things were firing off. I was like, oh my God.
I was like, I gotta.
Okay. It's very overwhelming, but let me tell you.
Yeah, because Cook has been telling me about this the Mia Farrow thing.
Yeah.
She's like, you need to watch. I'm like,
after Cook said that to us in the group chat, it was all of a sudden it was like everywhere. Like people were like, oh, have you seen this? And
have you seen it? And I was like,
bro, it's like it was so. First of all, Ronan Farrow. Baby, that little boy can tell a damn story.
Because when he, what was it? Was it in the New York Times when a couple years ago? Was that where he was writing?
Yeah,
and didn't he get Matt Lauer? Was that the one that got Matt Lauer?
He wrote out Matt Lauer's book about Harvey Weinstein.
Okay,
he did all that. Oh, he is wow. Good. And let me tell you, you need to watch this Woody Allen one because when you talk about the protection they get and powerful men, I was disgusted, floored by what the blatant, just the misogyny of it all and what they did to Mia Farrow and how they tried to really come at her. And I believe Dylan Farrow.
Same.
And it was a point in the story. Black people are top tier. And I'm going to leave it at that because in episode 3, Black people were centered in the story because they were the ones working.
Oh, hell. Okay, I got to watch this tonight.
Okay. You see my eyes. I'm like.
And let me tell you, when I saw this, I was like, oh.
Okay, so that's
why, and I will say this, and I'm going to say it, and I'm sorry. This is why segregation is on the table for me. This is why segregation is on the table for me. Get me out of this white supremacist structure.
And that's the thing about the system.
Get me
it
out
was kind of like when people were talking about, because when we're talking about like the elections going on and we're talking about voting and all this, and we're talking about systemic things, I was like, you do realize this system was not. It's like I've been saying that. I feel like I'm screaming it in Clubhouse.
It's the reason why things are not changing is because the system is not changing.
Because the system is working. I'm like, the system is working the way it was designed. You do realize this system was not designed for anybody outside of white people born in this country. It's like, yeah, it wasn't Polish Jews. It wasn't Italians. It wasn't including any of you. Anybody that was not white and born here. Y'all didn't even want to give like citizenship to indigenous people who fucking lived here. It was like, how? 1924? Bitch. They were fucking born here. You like had a mass genocide that killed a lot of the people so much that they live on reservations, and reservations, many of them, if not all of them, are like at least 3 to 4 levels below the poverty level. And they're like, why y'all living on reservations? Like, do you know what that's like?
Right.
We're not even talking about sexual assault. I'm like, see, that's the thing about oppression Olympics. I don't want to place an oppression Olympics.
Please say that.
Indigenous women have the highest stats of sexual assault because of reservations, because they don't have the police force on there. They have a lot of casinos, meaning men go in and out of those casinos. They sexually assault these women and they leave.
And they also drink. There's a lot of alcohol, but also it's by design that they have so much access to it in the first place.
Yep, correct.
So my thing is this. When it comes to people of color, I get it. The Native Americans are one group of people, like they got it, Shawty. Like I'm not arguing with you.
We ain't
I'm not arguing with you, Shawty. Like
y'all got it.
Real.
And truth be told, a lot of Black people are part Native American. My mom told me about the super breed. My family is from Tallahassee, Florida, which is Seminole. So my grandmother's great grandmother was a full-blooded Native American woman.
Mm-hmm.
So, and people don't even get, like, do you understand that they treated us like animals, meaning they wanted to take a Indian woman and a black man and breed them?
Yeah.
Like you breed animals.
Buck breaking is a thing. It's like
it was the men, right? It was the black men, or was it
stupid?
Was it the men though, right? Not the women. Not black men and Indian women, right? Okay.
But no, they probably did do that because they were trying to. Yeah. Because that was just essentially what they were doing with black men and black women on plantations. Is that if you were 6 foot 250 sturdy, and I find me a woman 5'11", 180 sturdy, okay, y'all breed. Because we need to get you because you're gonna breed me a big buck black baby.
Correct.
Yeah. And I can put him in the field. And that's why when I look at myself, my characteristics, I wish there was a Serena growing up because I ran track and I was very athletic and I have an extremely athletic build. But let me tell you something, it's natural. I didn't even start weight training until high school.
Wow.
But I can tell physically when I look at my physical appearance and how looking at my uncles and how, we were bred for work. And I hate to say that,
but that's what it is.
But I mean, like when I look at us, like, oh yeah, we was bred like they forget you did breed us to be this
like animals.
You did.
We were bred in a certain way. And the thing about it is that the way that like slaves were tracked, we weren't people.
Right.
We were little notches in a book. So and the crazy thing about it is you actually could have been inbreeding because you didn't know where they were from. They actually could be genetically related. These could be brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles, whatever.
Who were sold at birth and didn't even know.
And had never met. And it's like, that is how like insidious that fucking is. Like I had a conversation, and I love Hayes from Awakened Soul, but when we were on there and we kind of broached colorism when we're talking about it, because then it's like colorism has been coming up because of the word preference. So a lot of people have been like defending their preference by saying, oh, I have a preference for light-skinned women. So I think when I said colorism is always going to be this way, there's no reverse racism, there is no reverse colorism. That's not how that works. So, and it's like for dark-skinned people, it is a detriment. It has always been a benefit for lighter-skinned women. So when he was like, well, what about people who only like dating dark-skinned men? I'm like, so what you're talking about is a fetish. There is no positive.
Yes. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. When I was a young warthog.
When I was a young warthog.
Thank you. Yes. When I was out here.
I love this. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Just learning, ready for the world, school and life. Okay. I remember there was a time like when Wesley Snipes came out and it was like the thing. Ooh, dark skin.
Wait a minute, so everybody don't remember this. Y'all don't remember. Remember when it used to be Team Denzel versus Team Wesley? Yeah. It was never Team Denzel versus Team Mario Van Peebles. It was Denzel Wesley.
You are right.
Oh, Wesley Snipes was a sex symbol back then.
He absolutely was.
It was because he was dark, and a lot of there was a moment where, because before Christopher Williams was the standard. Albie Shore.
Yeah, Albie Shore exclamation point.
Okay. Hey.
I'm sorry. It's so funny. I'm like, fuck you, Omarosa, Albie Shore exclamation point. They were like, why are you saying that? Did you watch the Omarosa show? It said Albie Shore exclamation point. Like, that's how it used to be with Albie Shore. And his son looks just like him.
Yes, he does. Yes.
You look just like literally skin tone, whole face. I was like, did Kim have you or
like,
did
bro?
That
is baby. Quit that.
It's like complete face. I said, this is crazy how Quincy looks just like him. I was like, Kim, were you even in the room
in the picture at all?
Understand?
He made love to himself when he
clearly. I was like, he came from an egg. He came from the Cabbage Patch, because there's no possible way that Albie Shore and Kim Porter. And
but see, even listen to how we're talking about that.
It's like, how are you?
But of course, it's genetics.
Right.
But
like
if at some
genetics.
point, no, but at some point, like, because I'm pretty sure, like, even in Kim Porter's example, there was a point she was walking around with her baby, because I know it's happened to dark skinned women. Whose baby is that?
Yes.
Like, this is my baby. How you had that baby? Where that baby come from?
Because if you look at her kids with Diddy,
beautiful.
They are beautiful, but
they're brown.
They're
like
all brown.
him.
Brown.
Yeah, they're brown and they look like him. So I'm like, girl, how you got the recessive genes for all your babies? How did that happen?
All the kids look like Diddy though.
It's funny you say that though.
And his son is so beautiful. I'm like, these kids are beautiful.
All of them, yeah.
I'm like, Kim, you have Christian.
Just is it Justin?
Yeah, the one he had with Misha. He looks just like Misha though. Those are cute kids though.
Now it's funny that you say that about the mother, light skin, dark skin. Stephanie, I think you know her. Evelyn from This Is For You. This One's For You Tonight on Instagram. She does funny. Okay, so if you look at her, you know that she's not WASP. She's not white. She looks like she could almost be Spanish, but her family has Spanish, and she just found out because she texted me Moroccan and beautiful flavors. She said she would take her daughter out, and their languages. She'd be at the parks with the white ladies, and they would say, "Oh, what family do you work for?"
Yeah.
And she said she would be like, "Oh, I work for this family. I love them so much. I plan on taking the husband, running away with the husband."
What?
Because she's like, "I know what you're doing." Yeah, they thought she was the help. What family? Not even, "Oh, is that your baby?" What family are you working for?
Right. Because the funny thing, if you think about dating when you were younger, or you know, do you like me? Check yes or no on the box, or do you want to go with me?
Yeah.
I remember there was a time when only all the boys who talked to me when it was in style to be with a dark skinned dude, only light skinned niggas talked to me because all the light all the dark skinned boys were snatching up the light skinned girls.
Yes.
Dark skin and you was considered cute or fine. You grabbed you a red bone or a light skinned girl.
You are so right.
And I remember there was all my boyfriends were hot. I'm terrible. Red bone, high yellow, whatever. And it wasn't until I think maybe about the 90s, 2000s. When there was a time when dark skinned girls were in style because we were the video girls.
Listen,
that's when I started.
We were the vixens.
We were the vixens. So that's when I started to Buffy
the
Body.
Y'all Google Buffy the Body.
You know, that's when I became
we existed. Esther Baxter.
Yeah. Used to love Esther.
Listen, we was out, they was out there.
We was out here.
That was when, I was chocolate, not a booty. So I would I got my shit brown, dark skinned niggas.
See, that's why this is how we gonna tie this in.
I became fun with Anaconda. My Anaconda, I didn't even know I had a big booty because I went to school with all white people. So I was trying to, am I supposed to look like them? I was in the get ready to go to high school and I had on a blue sweatsuit because I was a cheerleader. And my first boyfriend, who ended up becoming my first boyfriend, was like, tell her she got to be, you know how you tell your friend to tell that. And I was like,
what? I got
this is power. Okay.
So can I just tell you how I'm gonna tie that in when you're talking about Buffy the Body and Esther? That's why when people are like joking, Kenya Moore, I'm like, see,
Kenya was a baddie back in the day. Kenya was baddie. Miss USA.
Baddie. She was Miss USA.
She was a Pantene spokesperson.
Hello.
Yes.
That was her real motherfucking
everywhere.
Yes.
It's like she was. Let's see, Living Single. She was on Martin. She was in Wait and Exhale.
Yes.
She was music videos. She was everywhere. I'm like, y'all can say whatever the fuck y'all want, but Kenya Summer Moore
was the shit back in the day.
She was Miss USA for a goddamn.
And the woman before her, Debbie something.
Yeah,
she was Miss USA. Where is she now? She looked like a principal, but I really want to know where she is now. She's with us. I bet she's working. She's got a nice job.
Isn't it funny that we could point out though, because there were so few, we can pinpoint certain eras where we looked like it was.
You remember that like, one person?
That was Kenya Summer Moore. I remember in ice skating where you never figure skating where you never saw women. It was Black people. Debbie Thomas.
Yeah. She was Syria Bonnelly. Okay. That was
yes.
She was the French black girl, and I was like,
yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I paid attention. Everybody's like, oh yeah, Tara Lipinski. Yeah, no. And,
No.
Like, yeah, so her, like,
We
yeah,
had what?
no.
Did we have Dominique Dawes?
Dominique Dawes, Flojo.
Flojo, yes.
Jackie Joyner Kersey.
Yes.
Mhm.
Carl Lewis.
Amazing.
Was it Carl Lewis?
Yeah, Carlos.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And who was the other one that when they found out he was when they found out Carl Lewis was, and you know what always stuck out to me, even being a young girl back then, I was like in my mind thinking like, aren't these white people like doing these steroids too? Why aren't they like, it just something just didn't seem, whether he was doing it or not. I'm sorry. I felt like the black runners were the superior.
Yeah.
When you went to the pin relays, you went to watch the black runners.
Mhm.
Did you go to the pin relays, Cook?
I no.
I bet you're like, wait.
She's like, wait.
You know what?
Because that whole thing with Castor
I
bothers
forgot.
me. That's why this bothers me with Castor.
I was like, wait, I was supposed to go and something happened and I did not.
Because when you said you ran track, I was like, okay.
Yes.
But when you go to the track meet,
so funny.
track meets,
I did not.
I don't know.
I remember I was supposed to and I didn't. And then by the time, I was old enough to take myself, I wasn't even involved in track.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just, but then the high school, you know what they did? I worked when I went to high school, and I told y'all, like, my high school had black in it. My dad went there. I was supposed to be, they had this thing called Leaders Club, and Leaders Club where you got to wear the different uniform in gym, and you got to whatever. I qualified. Now I worked in the gym, what do you call it? Director or whatever. It's like office. That was part of, I forget why, something to do with school. I was on the Leaders Club board. Me and one other black guy crossed my name out because I was too outspoken, too aggressive. The college letters, I was in and if it was me now, I would have circumvented all that and just got in trouble. I worked in an office where they didn't have a black quarterback for our football team was good, but they didn't have a black quarterback. But they had the black fullbacks, the black running backs. And the college letters would come, and guess what they would tell me to do? Oh, throw them in the trash for the black players. And at the time, I'm just like, oh, not even really thinking. So, and I'm like, man, almost, they say youth is wasted on the young, or hindsight is or whatever. If I was present mind, if I knew then what I knew now, I wouldn't have done that. But yeah, I was directed to throw away their letters. And then the white boys are going to Nebraska University, not as good as the black players. Some of my friends were some of the best players, and they're not getting letters. Wondering why they're not getting looked at. There was no social media like there is today, where you can put your highlight reel, have your mom tape you on her phone and put it on there yourself.
And that's the thing. It's like that whole system itself with sports. It just, I have
the football, right? Yeah,
I have commentary. I don't know why I just did that. I forgot I was on camera.
You're fine.
Child, please. That's how I know I'm comfortable. When I'm like all and like all like, huh? What? And look,
like what?
Yelling.
Oh, shoot. My camera
we
on?
get together. Exactly. Wait, look, did I just scratch on my arm? Like, like that's how you know you're comfortable.
Right.
Y'all better be glad.
In my booty though. Don't worry.
Look, y'all better hope I don't got to go to the bathroom. I'll carry this whole thing. I'll hold it.
Oh Lord. Okay. No. All right. So let's bring it back to center about
y'all gonna make a black woman not use the bathroom. You see how they are.
See how they is. See how we are. Okay, so two things. So the first thing is this week. I didn't realize we were going to get this. It's been on it's been on the books. So on March 7th, we got a whole 2-hour interview with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. And let me tell y'all something. There were a lot of people going, oh my God. So leading up to this, there is a video out there on the social medias where these dudes got British commentators to talk about the interview. It hadn't even been aired yet, and they were shitting on it and saying that she's lying. And it's like, so you haven't even seen. So there was a lot of, it's been a lot of hate for Meghan Markle and Harry for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so when it comes to the English media, they basically prove that they're just lying because, we love monarchs, we love Disney, we love Princess Diaries, and well, Piers Morgan, who lives his whole white ass in England, has been since day goddamn one, has had his issues with Meghan. Now he links it back to when they went for drinks and she ghosted him, but he leaves out the fact that when they met, he was a whole married man. So let me get this straight. You're mad at this girl ghosting you while you have a whole wife?
And he let us know he bought her a drink and I put her in a cab.
And then she went to go meet Harry and the rest is history. I'm like, so you think that she thought she was on a date? Even if she was. Have
as
you
a woman,
seen
she don't
Harry?
owe you nothing.
And I was
it's like another man thinking we don't owe you nothing.
You
I could have took your
wife,
drink
sir.
and left.
You are married. So what did you think was going to happen? Anyway,
right.
So he quit his thing because he quit his little show because we black women. He quit his little
show. Yes.
And so because he was mad that
him out.
When that dude called him out, he said, "I know you have your issues with her." I said, he's like, "You know what? Nuts to this." He was like, "Where you going, bitch? Where you going? I ain't done with you. I was like, "Ooh, bitch." So Meghan Markle sat down with the Oprah Winfrey.
I'm sorry. Did you see the Irish paper? That said whoever this Oprah is, she's going to go far. She's big or something.
She's Oprah Winfrey, baby. She has 30, 40 years of experience.
See, that's racism in action.
It's in itself.
You do realize she got to sit down with them because she's Oprah.
First of all, Oprah could fix the whole entire GDP in Ireland with one check.
That is billionaire.
She could absolutely fix their national deficit.
Finally, y'all proved my point. What I said about both of y'all earlier. Why I love listening to y'all together. We've been talking about colorism. We didn't talk about Albie Shore, Kim Porter,
exclamation
Justin, exclamation point. We didn't talk, and then you talk about the GDP in Ireland. Like,
come on. It's like she can fix it. That woman is a billionaire.
I say that to say y'all can truly talk about anything and make somebody want to be like, I'm going to
word.
I'm going to hold on something else today.
GDP.
I thought I was a reader. I thought I knew.
No, y'all we can't help it. Let me tell you something. Me and Cook be passing. Girl,
listen, wait. Did you tell Cookie what my name is for you, Little Britannica? For the Britannica Encyclopedia.
Britannica.
She had another. She's like, I like Britannica. I'm like, Britannica though.
Yeah, because what was the other one? My Little Pedia. And then I was like, no, I like Britannica.
No, I was like, I like Britannica though.
Britannica.
I'm like, it sounds like an STI. It's like, okay.
Shut not a little PDA.
So here's the deal with the whole thing with Meghan Markle, which is why I said at the beginning of this, there's no such thing as reverse colorism, because you saw a lot of people being super weird about this. See, this is what we're talking about. When it comes to white people, they just see us as black. And I'm like, so time out, homie. For a lot of y'all didn't know she was biracial. Black. If you didn't watch Suits, you wouldn't have seen that storyline play out, because apparently like she was biracial on the show and they put that into her storyline. Also, if you're not over a certain age, you probably didn't see her in Nick News, where literally she looks more biracial as a kid than she does now.
She wore curly hair.
She wore her natural hair texture, which looks about 3C if I'm like trying to figure this out. Maybe 3D. I don't know. Is there a 3D?
Because it's definitely not a 3D.
But it's at least 3C. So that's the other thing. It's kind of like, because we're black women, we can see black features in her face. I'm like, I can see it. I had a teacher in high school who I don't know if she's still with us, but she was Meghan Markle's complexion. Her sister was a lighter skinned black woman, but it's kind of like, oh, I know you got some black, but for her, if you walk down the street, she had blonde hair. So if you walk behind her, you wouldn't know that she was black. But baby, this is how people figured it out, because she kept saying we and us. That's how people figured it out. But if you got close to her face, you're like, oh, she is. And it's like,
okay,
that's how light she was.
Okay.
So you then saw you saw people going, see, this is how they all treat us the same if we're black. I'm like, see, here's the thing about that. She actually is a biracial black woman.
Yes.
She is like, so please don't use this. And also, this is how bad racism truly is. That they actually know that.
Yes.
They actually know that. Y'all are putting up her father on some sort of pedestal. The father that she's fucking contact with, but not her light-skinned mama.
You know, light skin.
Her mama is brown. Her mama is brown and beautiful.
Even light.
Well, that's true.
Her mother is very beautiful.
You know,
her mama.
she is very beautiful. She looks like her mother.
Yes, she does.
She looks like, so I'm saying lighter because I don't know. She probably, in my mind.
But for me, in that part of the interview where they was talking about, I know we're gonna get there. I felt like that was a dig at her mama, and I'm let's stick a pin in that.
Okay, that's
to
fine.
me, that was when I know that was, but I'll
it had to be, but
explain that.
What I'm saying is like she's not Kim.
You just gave me a chill.
She's right.
Not. Exactly.
So I will walk that back and say she's not light, but
not
she's
even
not.
Rashida Jones complexion.
Right. Yeah.
And that's the thing. A lot of people. That's another thing when we talk about biracial black people. A lot of people forget about Rashida Jones. It's like you realize
Rashida Jones plays a white woman on TV.
And the thing
I watched Meghan Markle in Hallmark movies playing a whole ass white woman.
Listen,
her mama and her sister was white in the movie with no daddy inside. She was a white woman. It was implied she was a white woman. So technically, on the color scale, she is what they call white passing. The word white passing is white supremacy.
Yes.
In the first place.
Yes.
What do you mean white passing?
Because
I just believe people really be saying white passing very casually.
And like this coded language, it's like like you gotta listen to what people say.
It's like, do you know why they were passing? Because they want to be white. No,
that's not why.
Safe. They want to be safe
to breed.
This is survival.
Out of blackness. To breed, like if you could literally breed yourself out of blackness and get away with it, do it. Mm-hmm. They took the risk knowing if they ever got found out or got caught, it
would be dead.
It meant death. Because it's like, how dare you get any of these white privileges with your nigger ass? That's how that went. So it's like, why are y'all doing this with Meg? I'm like, y'all doing this to prove a point, and baby, you don't have to do this. Darker skinned black people have told you.
Cook, get out of my head. I was literally thinking
that. A lot of times during a lot of that, when people were trying to discuss it, I was like, just go watch Imitation of Life.
Please just watch Imitation of Life. Y'all y'all need to see Sarah Jane. Okay, y'all need to know.
That's my mama.
Y'all need to see. Right. Y'all need to know. Y'all know a Sarah Jane. Her name is Danny Lee. I'm kidding. She's not black.
She's not even black. I mean, but the point for real,
if I hear that name one more time, I'm so sick of her. But wait, for colorism, go watch School Days, and that will tell you about that.
You know what, Spike Lee really should not have told everybody about what happened on that.
Stephanie, I told my mom what you told me, and my mom was like, "What?"
He made, and this is the thing.
The fact that he did that though, like, it's like, bro.
Can I just say it bothers me that, so you don't think that these black people that you hired to be in your movie could have acted that well? You actually had to make them method about this shit?
Method that they went through. A method that's their life. That's their life.
It's like, you don't, wait a minute. So you didn't trust, excuse me, this is not black acting school. You really did not think that they could have just acted. You had to make this shit so real that now I bet you some of them black people did not fuck with each other after that.
I bet you Dawn Lewis probably swung on somebody. Did Dawn Lewis swing on somebody?
She swung on somebody.
I think Dawn Lewis swung on Tisha Campbell.
Right. I'm like, you realize you just made like all of that, realizing that you did that shit on purpose. Like these people can't act.
And it'd be
and Dawn Lewis had to go work with Jasmine Guy after that on set. I'm pretty sure it might have been, a little thick.
They probably had to work some shit out. And they're like, why y'all like this? Y'all don't know what it was like on the School Days set. It's like, yeah, because that wasn't necessary to.
You know what really got me after learning that part? After hearing about you telling me what Spike Lee did, the part that instantly jumped to my mind, if it was method acting, they would all get it. But to be a darker skinned woman, and you have me method acting something I do every day, and I have this light skinned woman in my face singing, "You're just a jigaboo trying to find something to do."
Right. It's
that
so
part
fucked up.
to me.
I was like,
it would either end like I don't even know. Like when you yell cut, that part of life for dark skinned women does not cut.
It don't. It's like, you do realize there's women who treat me like this all the time.
And you know notice how he even made the sex different, the two couples. And I've heard so many times, I've heard men say, "Oh, ugly girls do it the best. Darker skinned girls do it the best." Even sex.
It's animalistic with them. I'm
like
really?
Exactly. Like,
interesting. Where would you get that from? Who told you that?
Your great granddaddy.
So
that was
white. Meghan and Harry. So you saw people just being like stupid. I'm like, please don't think that white supremacy is not going to white supremacy. So much so that they actually said, "Oh, we're concerned about how dark he is." I'm like, you do realize she is a biracial black woman who has slept with a white man, that you actually think that your child is going to come up looking like, I'm sorry, what did you think?
And I thought that baby was
I was like, what? And a lot of people were trying to say,
I was hoping that it did.
Right. It was like,
I want that baby to be brown skin with red hair.
Girl, I wanted a redhead too. I
wanted a redhead brown skin baby. But listen, they was like, well, look at her mother. Looking at her mother, it seems that it could be quite possible that the baby would be a little darker than what we may expect or determine from.
And you know what's interesting about that, Cook?
That's the tease I feel like that was going down.
Wait a minute. So here's the thing. Before she got pregnant, they did kind of whisper about that when they were dating. So why were people acting like she was making this?
Right.
Y'all media was the one making those like, well, what about children?
They had the little baby and the monkey and a jacket.
Exactly. I'm like, why are y'all acting like she's somehow making it up? Because then it became, oh no. And now you hear William and Kate saying, oh, we're not a racist family. I don't think any racist family has ever literally just said they're racist.
I feel like it's Kate. I feel like it's Kate that said some things and William relayed them.
I think it was William. It's like
I think William definitely said some shit.
I have a feeling it's William, but I'm like, William's a hoe. He cheated. He cheated on Kate.
And let's not forget.
And after they were married, I'm like, y'all listening to his ugly ass.
And I'm sorry, didn't we get the topless photos of Kate from the long lens camera when they were on vacation? I think it was on their honeymoon. We got the photos. Not only that, let's not forget, just because she lived over there and groomed over there and I think her family may have a little bit of something. Let's not forget the pictures they posted when they were in uni and she was walking around half naked in her bikini.
It don't matter because she's white.
Over her. So let's not act like Kate didn't pine for this man, like you said, who whored around on her. And Harry fell in love with Meghan. I'm not even gonna say Meghan got her man because I hate when it makes it seem like we got the man. Can we just say
this? It's like, I need people to stop acting like Meghan is pulling his strings. Let me explain to a lot of people, because we're old enough to remember when Diana passed away.
Listen,
y'all to pay attention to how Harry was walking in those videos. Harry was fucking over it. He was like, I'm over all of this. That man went into the military just to get away from y'all.
Thank you. He actually
saw this.
Like, he's a different. If you want to,
he did fight in wars.
He
fought in wars.
He's like, I'm 19th in line. If we're really being honest, I don't need any of this shit. And also, let's be very, very clear. Because of what happened with Diana, that's how this whole paparazzi thing started. It started with Princess Diana.
Not to mention,
that is where it started.
You all referred to him as the spare.
Listen,
he was not in line. It's William, and then you see how ugly he is now. It's like that Prince William, because he was closer to the throne. Mind you, they have a whole father, so I'm not sure how he's leapfrogging over Prince Charles. But it was like
I said that to my daughter. I said Charles is not going to become king.
Did y'all watch? Y'all not watching The Crown? I watched The Crown.
I'm getting ready to start. My mom seen Stephanie. We are
season. Yeah, I'm only watching Diana's season. I'm like,
nobody tell me nothing.
Right, I'm watching Diana's season.
But no, you should actually really watch.
I was going to say Stephanie. My mom said it was good.
Yeah, so that's why I tell people about Harry. I'm like, you do realize he only needed one reason. He's like, I am over this. I've been this since I was a kid. So this has nothing to do with Meghan. He could not protect his mother because one, the family did not protect his mother either. So he was like, oh, I'm not going to watch this play out the way that it played out because they had racism on top of it. Mind you, she is not a visibly to y'all Black woman, and y'all still treating her like that. Like, yeah, I'm out. I'm like, I don't need. It was like, they said, I don't even want to be a full-time senior royal. Can we just do this? Like, can I be casual?
Right.
Seasonal? Can I do this in the summer and then go back to what I'm doing? They're like, no. And it's like, okay, so then fuck this. I don't want any of it.
I don't want it. And then not only that, just like you said, they called a spare. Then how many years has it been? Even because my daughter asked me today, this is how long the rumor's been around. She was like, Prince Charles isn't Harry's dad, is he?
Right.
Yeah, and I was like, that was the rumor.
That was the rumor.
His red hair.
Yeah, and I was like, well, he looks like Diana. He looks like Diana's brother. And I said I was going to pull up a picture and show her.
He looks like Diana.
Yeah, yes, he does.
And William looks like Charles, which good to hell luck, everybody.
And to me, the nerve you have, because Meghan has melanin, when you, Charles, on your tapped phone, telling Camilla, who was not your wife, that you wished you could be her tampon. And that's better.
Right. It's like, baby, you realize you married your mistress. You are actually like, y'all are putting, and that's what happens when you're Black in front of like white people. It's like, you got to be like perfect. I'm like, so first of all, I've seen Kate's titties. And also, Camilla, you are the side chick. Why are we doing this?
In addition to Andrew being a whole ass pedophile.
Like, y'all got all Meghan, but y'all are not saying nothing about
the Crypt Keeper. They tried to clean that shit up so bad they allowed Sarah Ferguson back into the house.
Yes,
girl.
Yes,
please. Y'all remember her Weight Watchers commercials? He's like, why the fuck is a royal?
She had no money.
None.
They left her high and dry.
They took her high and dry.
I turned around and she was back in just like that.
It was like, how did this happen? I'm like, how did Fergie get back in?
And the only reason
they need to link Andrew with somebody.
Because all of a sudden they're reconciling. I'm like, they couldn't stand the ground each other walked on. You mean to tell me now they're back together? And it's it all because, thank you, Amy Rosbach, who acted like you didn't know your mic was on ABC and said you were telling the person you were working with about the story that the palace had killed. Oh, my mic was on this whole time? I know it was on this whole time.
Yeah.
And then the story had to come out. We know about him. All you did, you canceled his birthday and had him step back, but he's still getting a check.
Yeah. Girl. He's getting a check and a security detail. Oh, and still has his title. Okay.
So here's the other part. So here's the other part of the whole thing with Meghan Markle. Shout out to the clubhouse rooms that are broken out, the threads that are going on, where people are literally saying, well, what did you expect? You knew what was going to happen when you went over here. You acted like you ain't do no research on the royals. I'm like, wait a minute. It's like, so I don't like that. And it is upsetting me and my homegirl. Because I don't like the way that y'all are really doing this thing. We're talking about white supremacy is a system. This is systemic. White racism is systemic. But still, you're still blaming Meghan Markle for like the crown being literally white supremacy with shiny jewels. Y'all are actually saying, well, what did you expect? What? No, I don't feel sorry for her because that's what happens when you go marry that white man. It's like, what did you think?
I don't think Meghan is
and I was like, what?
Yeah, I don't think Meghan's really tripping in the sense that if she got to get it out the mud, sister's gonna get it out the mud.
Right.
You know, I like that they try to position her as a hardworking, independent woman, which she was like, I've been out here,
yeah. And she's also, I think, because wasn't
whatever.
Diana, before she married Charles, was she also divorced? Or was she? No, she was young.
No, she was
Never mind.
young.
She was like, wasn't she like 19 or
Yeah.
something?
And based on The
19.
Crown, wasn't it supposed to be like her sister or something like that? But she
Yeah,
liked
they
him or
did.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, her
So
sister and Charles dated, but she was like, no, talk to my sister.
Yeah.
Like she might be interested. And yeah,
And
it's
like,
they go over
it's
it.
driving me nuts to watch people literally just go, hey, protect Black women, but not this visibly Black woman, because what did you expect to happen? And I'm like, wait a minute.
I think for people, they were just like, was Meghan Markle in the culture, before all of this? Meghan Markle was not in the Tyler Perry movie.
Correct.
So we really embraced her when she got, no. A lot of people, the culture embraced her as the moment when she got married to Harry. They wasn't with us in the trenches watching these royals. Okay. They wasn't with us in the trenches
like, there's
before
people who
Meghan
didn't realize that Camilla was the side chick. I'm like, so it's really funny to watch. I'm like, so
we knew that they've been trash. We know they trash.
Yes.
It's like us knowing that they are been trash does not make what they're doing to Meghan Markle okay. That does not make it okay. It's like, well, that's what you get for going over there. It was like, so
that's not one of those moments.
It was like,
see any of this coming.
But y'all want to free Britney,
right? It was like, wait a minute, exactly. It's like, but I was like, but okay,
like
so
what?
So what was Diana's excuse? Because she was a whole white woman, and
y'all
like
love that
too.
Yeah, and y'all love that she was brave enough to step away and wear her
exactly
sweatpants.
Because that's the thing, when you watch that Britney documentary, it was like, oh, I remember that, because they surely did act like Justin.
And remember how they went after the press, after TMZ, after Justin Timberlake and Janet. Y'all going after all of that, but y'all won't go after this British press.
Correct. They are flat out lying. It's like, that's not true. And no, we're not racist. And I do remember that story where they said that Meghan made Kate cry.
And me too, girl.
In the interview, Meghan was like, I didn't feel like it needed to be like brought up because we talked about it. She apologized. She gave me flowers and it was over. It's like,
and then I like when she said, I would have
hoped.
Yes.
She was being gracious in this moment. She's like, it's not worth bringing it up because we settled that. We are good. Yeah. So it's like, I don't want to hear that. It's like, oh, it's like, well, that's what you get. I don't feel sorry for her. And I'm like, it's bothering me because I'm seeing Black women do it.
Me too.
Like, to a certain extent, I'm like, I get y'all want to give realism, but here's the thing. So when I see women, like, I think someone compared it to a job, like, you don't do your research with a job. And it's like, what the hell are y'all doing? And y'all just love these royals so much. And I'm like, yeah, but what you can't, I'm like, that somewhat is like, having to work to live is a little bit different than marrying somebody that is different. However, do not get up on this internet and complain about the dudes that you fucking and then be like, and someone say, well, you should pick better. You jump on people when they tell you.
Yes.
Why are y'all telling Meghan that?
If the man verbally abused you and somebody said that,
well, you should have known. It's like, wait a minute, you would not want something like if you were being literally harassed, traumatized. This woman was suicidal. This has been going on constantly, not like one here and then 7 months later, constantly for about 5 or 6 years.
Suicidal and pregnant. Like,
and it's like, this woman is pregnant now. She's having a girl. I can't wait. I know. I can't wait.
I hope that she has 4C hair.
I do too.
It's beautiful.
It's like, quite frankly. And I'm sitting here like, on one hand, I'm like, I get y'all, but it's like, I'm not going to argue with y'all on the timeline because I can't do this with y'all.
And at what point, when can we allow people some grace? Like, come on, because we want it.
It's like, are y'all saying it because she's not a visibly Black woman? It's like, that's what's going on, or it's just
she's a woman. So and she, white supremacy failed her, and she should have known that it was going to fail her. Why didn't you see that coming? Like, I mean, you didn't see it coming, because that's something that we tell people too. Like, oh, they did that to you. You didn't see that coming.
So the thing is, so are y'all going to say that? So heaven forbid, because I really doubt that this is going to happen, because this man is 10 toes, and he gonna borrow like 7 other feet from other men down for Serena Williams. So something happens between Alexis and Serena, and she get her heart broke. Y'all gonna say that, or y'all gonna be like, fuck Alexis forever?
Exactly.
Please let me know what you gonna do.
Y'all wasn't even trying to fuck with Serena.
Thank you. So something happens with Alexis, and he does something like maybe cheated with her. Right.
You ain't start sexualizing her. Y'all never really wanted her.
Y'all only sexualized her. You know what Jamie Foxx. Wasn't it the ESPYs? Was it the ESPYs where he's like, damn, look at that ass? She's like, damn, she do got ass. I'm like, y'all were calling her a man before then.
Right.
I worked with a woman who was fair brown skinned, but her hair was like a 4C, so she would get it like me. And it was, I think she was bitter about the fact that it wasn't long and flowy because her mom was what you would consider a red bone, and she would call her
like
soft textured hair. Yes. And she would call her son, who was 16 at the time, this is like 10 years ago, my pretty red baby. Then she married a dark-skinned guy and had a brown baby. And when she got into the same reason sometimes you look at interracial couples and say, oh, I hope it would never go there, meaning the white woman calling the black man something. It's what she would call her husband. You black B, you black this.
Yep.
And she would always say, you know, they're just jealous of me because I'm light skinned, because that's something her mom told her. Like everybody had to be jealous because she was light skinned, not because no, you're like your personality is trash sometimes.
I've had a few friends former friends where I'd tell them, I'm not putting up with your high yellow bullshit.
Listen, and so the Serena talk, she would laugh about it. She didn't have no butt. And I would get with her and say, oh, it looks like a white woman. One of the white girls around there had a booty. And I would say, oh, look, that white woman stole your butt. Since everybody's so jealous of you because you are.
Right.
You know, she would say, girl, yeah, Serena. She I was laughing. I took my little pretty red baby to the barber, and they were saying how Serena got a body. Oh, well, she looked like a gorilla in the face, and I was like, what? Y'all black men calling?
They used to call her a man. They said she looked like an ape.
And I loved her.
There's no possible way that she's like, no, she must have been a man because that's how good she was. I'm like, because in y'all, so not only adding featurism, colorism, you add in misogyny on it,
and they
too.
do the same
they
thing.
Were like,
oh, Michelle
no
Obama.
way she could be
they
that.
Do.
Oh
they
yeah,
do.
And it was just
they
like, oh, look at her. It's like she looks like an ape because that's what you say about dark.
But she's not light skinned.
Exactly.
Because
that's why. When President Obama got elected, my dad called me and said, what did you think? And the first thing I said, I'm glad his wife is black and black, not light skinned. And he said, your mom said the same thing.
Michelle LaVaughn Robinson.
Come on
now, LaVaughn.
From the South Side. Come on. Like,
hello.
So that's the other thing, because you bring up Obama, like Obama's biracial, Meghan Markle is biracial, Matt
is a
the Bachelor.
Type of biracial.
It's kind of like they are visibly, even to a certain extent, Halle Berry. The thing about
Halle Berry, but Halle Berry ride for her black.
She really do. She like,
you like her mom.
Even though Halle Berry had a baby,
mama is white.
She was like,
and her mom and Alicia Keys' mom said they taught them that they were black.
Correct.
You're black because that's how the world sees you. So
that's how the world's going to see you. It's like, it's not me erasing myself from your life. It's
exactly.
I'm preparing to just going to see. But we're also talking about visibly black people.
Yes.
Like, if you didn't tell us that you had a white parent, we wouldn't know. Which is why I wish to spare on Matt James. Because I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Listen.
Why are you actually listening to these black women talk about stuff about their hair and how they're treated in school? Why were you sitting there like you're not black and you didn't have these issues?
And you didn't have locks in your own hair. And so you know what hair is like.
And can I just tell
James?
Oh, he's the Bachelor.
And let me tell you, ABC says the first black Bachelor. Matt James says
he said biracial. He said it. I was like, you know, it was the first episode and he's having this conversation with Chris Harrison, which fuck him forever. When he had that conversation, I was like, oh yeah, I'm good. Yeah, no. There's too many,
they don't usually
too many black people. There was a lot more black women and also more darker skinned black women.
And with short haircuts and everything.
Child, they had a South Asian woman. She was black and South Asian. I was like, yeah, that girl quit. She made it to the
She
top
said,
away.
"Bye,
She
I'm
was
outta
like,
here."
Yeah, I'm out. Like, he did
Whoa,
not.
they walked out on him.
And let me
She
tell
walked
you,
out on him.
Stephanie was the conversation Stephanie's talking about. The Bachelor is normally just waiting for the girls to pull up, however they're going to pull up and introduce themselves. They don't ever pull the host to the side and have a conversation and talking about certain people expect him to pick a certain way.
Right. He's like, I
basically
don't
letting
want
us
white
know.
people to be mad, and I don't want black people to be mad. I'm like, the minute he said black people, mad, you're preparing them. You're going to pick a white person, and that's fine. We don't care. And I'm like, I need black men to understand this. We don't care
Thank
if
you.
you marry outside of your race. We care that you step on us to get there. That is what we care about. And I'm tired of y'all stepping on us.
Do y'all, I mean, do we talk about Sidney Poitier and Harry Belafonte and how they treat
you notice he don't ever come up. OJ don't come up either.
No.
Oh, okay.
Not at all.
Because you notice when they don't
Marguerite stuck with him for all those years, and then as soon as he got a contract and was running through the airport to get to his Hertz rental car, I think that's what it was. Now all of a sudden you met.
I'm not black. I'm OJ. So it's like when that whole talk, and it's been all over Clubhouse and Twitter with divestment, I'm like, it's interesting. Y'all only bringing up black women who are just like, you know what? I'm tired of you treating me like shit. And after a while, I'm just opening my gates to anybody who appreciates
keep
me.
It 100.
Yeah,
who the fuck is going to help Gabourey Sidney?
Right.
Who the fuck was going to stand up for her and not call her precious?
Come on.
Who among you?
Who among you? So that's the thing. When me and Sasha were talking last episode, when I was like, I have a big issue with anybody who calls any dark-skinned black woman precious, because I know what the fuck you're saying. Yes, and I'm like, I don't like that. Do not. I'm like, I don't like that. They're like, really? I'm like, yeah, don't call any darks, because one, don't be a fat dark-skinned black woman. You won't call her precious. I'm like, bitch, fuck you.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fuck you. I'm like, who the fuck do you think you're talking to?
Right.
Don't ever in your life call me that. And it's like, that's how like visual that is. And it's like, I can't with y'all. I can't. I'm like,
and
I'm
especially people are like from a certain generation. We're not talking about the church ladies in church from 10, 15,
they were
20
saying it before,
ago.
But Push is a very old book, because I read that when I was a kid.
Wow.
I read Push because the way it's written is it's like phonetically written how somebody who is illiterate speaks. That's how it's written. It's like that was the biggest thing about Push. It's like, it's written phonetically how she talks. You know, it's just like, whoo. That was one of those books.
That is crazy.
It's like
Sasha talks about her relationship and how, you know, her fiance's made it very clear, like if there was ever an issue with our kids, because Sasha is Nigerian and he's white.
Because that's the difference. It's like when you see black women, and I'm saying quote unquote, marrying out, whatever you want to do, basically finding love for someone who basically is going to appreciate them.
Period.
It's like,
that's what they don't get.
I'm just marrying somebody who appreciates me. Notice a lot of those black women feel like they have to go out of their way. It's like they got to be like in Vogue, might date another. Race or color.
Yes.
That doesn't mean I don't like my strong black brothers. You have never heard a black man do that. Ever. They don't ever do that shit.
No.
Women have to do that because
they
we are
toast
the ones
more
that
light-skinned babies.
Right. They'll be like, oh no, it's my preference and that's fine. I'm like, no, black women got it. Like
want light-skinned daughters and dark-skinned sons.
Correct. They like saying when they say, oh, I have a preference for dark black men. I'm like, because you are on this impression that darker skinned black men have bigger dicks and fuck better. That is not appreciating their skin tone. That's not appreciate them as a person.
And that's the part with some of them. It's like they don't even take.
They don't like you, boo.
No, they don't like you. They just really want a biracial baby so they can keep it pushing.
Correct.
Period.
Like, that's why you'll see like darker skinned black men. I mean, even our complexion or darker be like, I can't be with no dark skinned black woman. No, it's like we can't have no dark babies. I'm like, I heard that when I was in high school. Like they are black men that were like, no, no, I can't have no dark. We can't have no black babies in here. No, and it's like.
No, this one boy, he was darker than me. And he was like, if I have a baby, he was like, yeah, my daughter, like, I was like, I don't see me dating no white woman, but my baby gotta be at least light skinned because I got a light skinned daughter because y'all be getting shitted on.
Right.
And the fact that
like,
could come out of your mouth and you not notice the irony of what you're saying
Correct.
and what
like,
you're
nigga,
doing in
shit
this
on
moment.
YouTube.
Right.
And what you're doing to me in this moment. Really?
That part.
And that's why it was like, you know what time it is. And that's why it's like, I don't mix words
at all. I'm like, I'm done being nice
about the situation.
And like hair. I'm so done being, when I got to college, I finally cut my hair again. My mom let me cut it once in 9th grade. Then she didn't let me cut it anymore. And then I cut it when I got to college. It went from a little below my shoulders to my ears. And I was walking through the lounge thinking I was cute. And it has still, like, I could still hear his voice to this day. His name was Sean. And he said, girl, why you cut your hair? You know, Black men want a woman with hair. You better be glad that you're still pretty, because otherwise we want our Black women to have long hair.
Oh, yeah. I had a cousin who said some bullshit like that.
Let me tell you, I tell my daughters now, and I make sure I tell my daughter, I say, I don't care if you want a relaxer. I don't care if you want it straight. I don't care if you want to buzz cut it off. You are gorgeous. Don't let a man tie you to your hair. Correct. Period. So we are not our hair. And y'all stop walking up on us saying, oh my God, I don't care if you're 100 years old as a white woman. If I walked up and touched you, you would think it was inappropriate. So don't touch our hair.
That's why you remember when Kendrick Lamar came out with that song, and then all of a sudden men like, yeah, that's right, we like women natural. I'm like, see, this is, you can fool those 24-year-olds.
Yes.
You cannot fool us over 37, baby. We remember what y'all used to say. It's no, we don't want to see your nappy hair. Oh, get your hair done. Oh my God. Oh, look at your face. Oh God, look how you look in the morning. Oh, put some makeup on. Now y'all want to jump shit, even like, oh no, we like women natural. Y'all so full of shit. Y'all just mad that women stop doing it for you.
Let me tell you,
doing it for their for their female friends and for themselves. And now it's like, wait, you're not centering me in it? No. I'm putting on this makeup because one, I'm an influencer and I'm making fucking money off of it.
You better,
and I'm good at it.
Girl, you better.
Now check that.
My girlfriend has a son that goes to Morehouse and a daughter that goes to Spelman. And the son was complaining and my girlfriend was cracking up and was like, good for you. He said, there's a women's studies class. There's some certain class and at Spelman that women take, that he said the girls going in have their hair laid, nails done, makeup. By the time they finish that course, he said they'd cut all their hair off and stop wearing bras.
Because
it's probably not even that deep.
It's probably not even that deep.
Exactly.
They just decentering. When you decenter men,
yes,
you see that all of a sudden it's like, how dare you? And this is a problem. I'm like,
the truth is, when you decenter them, like for me, I realized, I was like, yeah, I don't even think I would have gotten this far in my career.
Wow.
If I were married, because I remember, niggas be like, yeah, you need to stop working so hard, get you a man,
slow down.
And I was like, but like, even if I did get a man, I was like, I wouldn't be
dependent
a wife.
I'm like, no,
like I wouldn't be up in here cooking. No, I was like,
I'm like, girl,
I would have somebody in the house now, and he would be the one coming home making dinner, because I would still be punching that clock.
I'm just saying, and it's like I have been called intimidating, and I'm just like, oh, you intimidating because I mean you got yourself together. I'm like, am I supposed to not have my shit together?
Corey told me I didn't find this out until we were in a marriage ministry one time at church, and he said, I prayed for a woman like my wife, but God knew I needed the opposite. His mom left her house, went straight to the marriage house, cooked, clean. She didn't handle no bills. He handled the page. And when we got together, we were both had our own jobs. And when we got together, he was like, I think I should hold the checkbook. And I was like,
no.
For what? Like, are you right? Like, what is, if you're taking that on, cool, that could be, but if we're not taking this on, and then he was like, yeah, it's because he saw his father do it. But, and I think that's with a lot of men, you see the father do it, but the father was making sure, like, sat down, went over the bills, did everything. And not saying that he wouldn't, but let's start saying who's really going to dedicate the time to do it. Correct. If I take the trash out better, I'll take the trash out better. That ain't no big deal. Oh, where you go? Oh, that's not a big deal to me. So let's
don't come for me. In my black ass.
You so stupid. Shut up, Cook. Don't come for me. Because she was like leaning down in the window.
Right.
I'm like, I can still see Cook. It was
Oh, y'all could. Oh,
girl, we can see. Girl, you fine. Because we both we about to wrap up. Because Cook brought this up, and I remember seeing this, and we're gonna talk about this. So let me just explain. So there are little teeny things about colorism. It's so weird, the things that happen. Now, when Zoe Saldana was in that movie playing Nina Simone, because
let me get on my phone.
The main character is like, it's very jarring to basically darken her up to be Nina Simone when literally Michaela Cole is literally right there, and she looks exactly like her. Y'all actually darkened up Zoe Saldana to be Nina Simone. She looks nothing like Nina Simone. Not only wrong skin tone, wrong facial features. And it was like, oh, this is like very big deal. So on the Tickety Talk, a lot of people do things where they do duos or they stitch videos. It's called stitching. So someone said, they asked the question about, give us a crazy, if you're an actor, give us a crazy story. So a lady named Kelly Amira on TikTok was telling the story of her being a background actor. She's been on a lot of stuff. So she's telling this story about how she's sitting on a set, and she was like, I was playing a background. I was going to be in a picture in a scene where they literally put dark makeup on her face. They put it all, because she had the facial features of one of the actors. However, she was very much lighter, so they had to darken her up. They also
wait. And here's the thing for me. I watched Lovecraft Country. I think
I was getting. Would you let me tell the story? I ain't even got to the damn story. Look, she is high, y'all. I'm kidding. So she's telling this story. Spoiler alert, is about Lovecraft Country.
Okay.
They put makeup on her face. They did not they didn't do anything to her. Literally, if you look at her, she does have the facial features of the person she's supposed to look like. They darkened her up. They put a wig on her. They put makeup on her hands. And she said this happened in between two of the actors. One was Courtney Vance. The other was Journey Smollett. Two of the main actors were sitting there while they did it. Now, if you look at it, so when she's talked about it, she's talking about Lovecraft Country. She said she was a background person. But here's the deal. She wasn't in the scene. She had took a picture. This picture was in a scene. You would not have known this. They did all of this for a picture. They didn't find a darker skinned person.
For a picture.
For a picture in a scene. For Lovecraft Country.
So this is... Here's
now
my
go ahead.
thing.
Come on, Cook. Come on.
Sorry I jumped ahead because I forgot we did.
Like, spoiler alert!
Look, my bad. But because I watched every episode at least 3 times.
Right.
I really enjoyed that show. When she's talking about why they chose her, it's because this also has to do with featureism. Correct. They said she had the features.
She was talking mostly about her nose.
She has a broader nose and fuller lips, right?
Okay.
She has black features. That's the other thing, especially when we talk about Basketball Wives.
Correct.
The reason why Jen got in with them is because her nose was smaller. She had full lips like a black woman, but she also had other
more
features.
Afrocentric features.
More European features. Slender frame.
I'm sorry. I said Afrocentric.
Right. Less Afrocentric features, but more Eurocentric features. So when we talk about featureism, we're talking about even being darker skinned, but not having fuller features, certain features.
Like a Kristen on Basketball Wives. Okay.
Yeah, like Kristen. Because Kristen has more Euro.
Or Malaysia.
Yes, even yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and that's feature wise. So with this one, when we talk about the character that she was supposed to be playing in the photo, I was like, her nose wasn't even that big.
Correct.
Because that's the one that was given the interview with the hair that was kind of like out, right? Mm-hmm. That was on TMZ. Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so you didn't even look like that lady for real.
She really don't.
And then I was like, so why did you? And I'm like, you sat there and let them put that makeup on you.
Yeah.
And it was like, and then when they said it to you, because there was a moment where everybody's hesitating and like, oh no, we're just gonna, you're lighter, but you have the right features. It's like
it was so crazy. And then
it didn't even match the lady that she was supposed to be.
She surely didn't.
And so my thing was just like, okay, which leads to the broader conclusion, like, okay, this is my concern, the casualness with which people engage in colorism.
Yeah.
Because I feel like everybody does it. I have some family members who swear up and down, they call themselves light skinned, and I'm like, bro, you're not that light.
Right. You're really not.
You're really not that
like
light.
I'm a red bone. I'm like, baby, that's not
at best. I remember one time I just said one time I was like, bitch, at best you dirty red. And I just like, as you wasn't even dirty red. I just was like, shut the fuck up. I was so sick of this shit. And that's been like, because even in my own family, it was, the implication was that because I was dark,
wow,
I wasn't as attractive.
Correct.
Or I'm not attractive, and
not like your cousin.
So my thing was just like,
yep,
it's just not that deep though, but it exists. It's there. We know. We see it. It's like. And it wasn't until I heard the story, that's when I did just accept that, Journey being cast was kind of like.
So here's the thing about the other part.
I mean, she did her job. She could act.
But it's like, honey, there's reasons why you were there. So can I also bring up the fact that the girl who told this story was like, oh, I gotta make sure I don't go out and look like this because I look crazy. I'm like, you look crazy. How interesting. That literally they could have found literally anybody, mind you,
to be a picture.
It's like, it's not even you in a scene. You talking about a picture. When I was talking to Sasha, she was talking about how Black people are lit on
listen,
when she talked about how she was like in a scene and Black people were not poorly lit, they just cut them out. I was like, what the hell? It's like, what is going on here? Ma'am, you're telling this story saying it's so crazy and this is what they did and I was in this picture without realizing that you're triggering a lot of dark-skinned Black women. The woman that I'm talking about is Amber Abundance. She was like, I was trying to sleep and now I got this shit, and now I am worked up. Because she's like, this is how pervasive white supremacy truly, and featureism and colorism truly is, that you would go through all of this. You would do all of this work when you could have literally just found a darker skinned Black woman to be in a photo that people would not like. When she said the scene, I'm like, that went by so quick. It was less than a second.
They could have CGI'd somebody in there if we want to be real.
You could have CGI'd the damn actress that was in the fucking scene.
The actress could have went home and brought a picture of her younger self.
Thank you.
It's like you did all that because you were looking like, oh, this is just a crazy story for me. And it's like, is it crazy for you? You don't see it as like fucked up. There's like the thing about it, sometimes it's like, I don't want to put the onus of the Black woman in this situation. I'm like, well, you should have said something. It was just like, or you could have just not said anything.
Yeah.
We could have just.
You could have went to your whole goddamn grave. This could have been.
I was going to say, I don't think I would have said anything unless I refused the part.
Correct.
Why didn't you keep that to yourself? Because that for you was for other people to see you as this champion of dark-skinned women. I'm not colorist. I support Black women. That was for you to get like points. Like you could have kept that to yourself.
You using this for clout. You were using
exactly. Not realizing
100,000 people followers. It's like, girl,
and you could be hurting another Black woman watching
wrong reason.
in the process. Yeah. Like
and now Lovecraft Country was like, oh, we didn't know that. I'm like, and I think what's interesting, like, it's on a Black show. I'm like, is it a Black show, y'all? Hi, y'all. I'm getting real close. Is it a Black show?
Is it? Answer honestly, or do you want me to not answer honestly? Would you like me to answer?
Honestly, it's not a fucking Black show. This is not Tyler fucking Perry.
We do it all.
This is not at Tyler Perry Studios. You think Tyler Perry wasted? He don't even get them the good wigs. You think he gonna spend like 3 hours painting somebody darker? Or them goddamn people in Atlanta? No, that is not the child. This is at HBO. They had a Black director, but please look at that production team, sis.
Listen,
please, sir,
they do it all the time.
Please stop this. And the thing about it is, like, this actually could have happened to Tyler Perry, but I doubt that it would have. One, he don't need nobody else talking about him. Okay?
No, exactly.
He don't need him. Like, I don't need these kind of problems. Like, we don't have no problem finding dark-skinned people at Tyler Perry Studios. Hello. He put all them damn shows in the goddamn bubble. It's like, excuse me, we need to make this content. Y'all all come here. Y'all stay in this bubble and work. Okay, bye.
And not only that, they do it all the time. Think about that movie with Tracy Ellis Ross and Dakota Fanning and how they marketed that movie like it was all about Tracy Ellis Ross, but Tracy Ellis Ross was the assistant, right?
No,
I mean, Dakota was the assistant, but it was about Dakota, not Tracy Ellis Ross. But you marketed it a certain way. So people would think. Because they almost got me, child.
Excuse me. It's like Amos and Andy is a thing, y'all. It's like, y'all, this is a thing. It has always been like, let's just paint people darker because we don't want to go out and actually find the people. Y'all remember Aladdin? When they were filming for Aladdin, and they said they couldn't find any Persian people or Middle Eastern people. And I was like, I'm sorry. So if you look in San Diego, you probably will maybe find 3 if you're really, really looking. But what the fuck are you talking about?
When we talk about Harriet,
you can't find anybody.
The movie Harriet, and whose name came up to play Harriet?
Oh yeah, Julia Roberts. Like, what? I'm like, excuse me, what the fuck is wrong with y'all?
World?
You can pay anybody. I'm like, wait a minute, y'all get mad if they put comic book characters.
Cook has left the building,
but
it was like, excuse me, how y'all
forgot about that?
Child, I mean, y'all mad about Ariel being Black. This is a Disney character, and y'all
that's not even real.
Julia Roberts can play Harriet.
That's not even real.
Even talk about how they did Quinton Janae Wallace when she took over the role as Annie.
Can I tell you something? Let me tell you something about that. I could send you a picture. So my daughter and my son were in entertainment. Their manager was in New York. My daughter auditioned. They wanted her to audition for one of the orphans for the movie. She looks so, and I remember somebody else told me this is the business. She looks too much like the lead, and she's also Black. She won't get one of the part of the orphans. Fast forward, she used to do, what is it called? A thing for autism, music for autism. And it was in the middle of Times Square, in the middle of New York. And if you had been in a show, you didn't have to raise $500 to participate. But if you hadn't, so we fundraised $500. One of the orphans from the movie, the little girl Mia, was there. Sky sang the song that Q sang, and the little girl ran up to her and said, I've never heard it sung that way. But my daughter didn't get a chance. They made all the orphans white. Oh, because the lead is Black. She auditioned for a Rockefeller Center Christmas thing. For the past, 3 or 4 years she's in here. It was light skin. The girl had light eyes, soft curly hair. They put out a casting. They want everybody now. Oh, really? She gets cut the first round. Now I'm very realistic about my child's talents. And I'm like, there's no way. Oh, who ended up getting the part again? And then again, the light-skinned girl with the gray eyes and the curly hair. She auditioned for a student film, y'all, that was written for a Black girl.
What?
It was written for a little Black girl to be like in this white family. And it's like a lot of trauma. She auditioned. We hadn't even left New York. They were like, can you come back? We love her. Had her come back. So they emailed and said they would want to see her again. We heard nothing. Oh, the part was played by a little white girl. She booked, and I will never stop saying this.
Wait a minute.
What?
Yeah, she booked a national Verizon commercial. National. Terry Bradshaw was in it. National. They cast it on both coasts. We got so excited. Got the call. We get there. And the black boy that was supposed to pay her brother was there, but we don't see black parents until we walk to the back and they say, oh, they decided to go a different way. The different way was she was now a friend of, the black boy was now a friend of, and they had chosen white parents. So yeah, when I tell you we've seen this over and over again, or it was specific. If they wanted a black girl, the hair had to be natural. They were going for, when Sephora was talked about like a dog for being racial, all of a sudden there's a black girl campaign. And it's like, okay.
This is why I am all for segregation.
Shut up.
We still look. Are we ending where we started?
The table
She's
for
like, and
me.
this is why
It's back on the table for me because I am divesting from all of it. It's not.
Yeah, don't use the G word because these black men will lose their damn mind.
Stop it.
Divestment. What do you mean? I'm like, y'all are not using y'all are not using this correctly. I was sitting here like when people have a problem, I'm like, see, my friend Cook is the first person I heard say it, and I knew exactly what the fuck she meant.
What she meant
in the right context. Y'all are just like, I'm tired of y'all treating me like shit, and I'm just opening my floodgate to anybody.
Period.
How
and
dare
that,
you
look,
just give
and that's
up on
my
us?
preference.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
I prefer. Like a preference does not mean I exclude everything.
That's why I say divest, because I ain't no punk bitch.
Yeah.
I'm over your shit. I ain't putting up with it no more. I've divested from you.
Pretty much. I
mean that. I don't know. Like because colorism is true. And Miss Abundance said it. It is a derivative of supremacy, and the way Black people try to go through hoops to act like they don't understand why, like they don't.
Why y'all prefer this person to that person?
And,
why was Gina and not Pam considered the pretty one?
Yes, ma'am. And why was Gina considered the better singer? No, ma'am.
She wasn't. It definitely was
No, ma'am.
It's definitely Tashina Arnold, but that's neither here nor there. Before we wrap up, because I feel like I'm Taria, I could kidnap y'all and we can just talk because we can anytime. But we're gonna have to get on out of here. Before we go, of course, I'm so glad that this has finally happened because I said, Taria, you need to have Cook on what else is going on.
Oh, she's coming on. She knows it, and she's gonna be highly inappropriate.
Yeah, she'll be very inappropriate. It's gonna be so good. I was like, you need her on your show. You need her on your show.
I'm not letting her go. Like, hello, Stephanie, tell her I'm not letting you go. You know that.
Yeah, it's like this is like our little triad, the fire triad that we have. But it's like it's going to happen because it was like me and Cook were like we gotta find an Aries, and she was just like, yeah,
is it Aries? Sagittarius?
And I was just like, what are you again? And then when I said, she's like, it's Taria, isn't it? I'm like, yes, it is. And she's like, I knew it. It's like, I knew it. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I should have figured this out. But of course I didn't till it was too late. Cook had to figure it out. But before we go, please tell everybody how can find you and find your show. To Miss Taria, go first for me.
Guys, first of all, Stephanie, thank you so much. I always feel like it's an honor to be on Mocha Minutes because Stephanie, when I say has that range, she literally is an inspiration to continue to always just dig deeper and dig for a higher level of knowledge. Because Stephanie reminds me a lot of my father. When you're going to, and somebody like that stretches you. So when you're going to talk to them about something, you better have your facts because if not, there's going to be holes all through. So it makes you more of a well-rounded person, just being in their sphere. So, and that's for both of you guys. So thank you guys so much for having me. Guys, you can find me on Instagram at WeGo, WEIGO podcast, Twitter at TSFAISON podcast, and on every single podcast app. What else is going on? Now, you can find, if you want an easy way to find the podcast, go to my Instagram at WeGo Podcast, click on the bio. If you have an iPhone, it's going to take you to Apple, where you can watch. If you have an Android, it's going to swing you by hell, cuss you out, and then take you to where you can listen to podcasts on the Android platform.
Oh my God, that's a mess. You're such a mess. All right. And Cook, I know you are on you cooking up something nice, but tell everybody how they can find. She found you.
I got it. Look, wait.
Like, look at that. It's
I saw my son's face. I was like, there he go. Oh, that's she found me.
That's so funny.
So
please, Cook, tell everybody where they can find what you cooking up. They're gonna have to be patient. It takes time to cook something good. Okay.
Yes, it's on summer right now. It's on summer.
Come on.
I got my people working or whatever, and we're doing what we need to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm coming back to y'all slowly but surely. You can catch me though for now on Instagram at Cook_Simmons. Excuse me. Occasionally you catch me on Twitter or whatever at the Cook and the Gooch. I've not let that go yet. And
we love it so much. I was like, I feel like if you do it for somewhere else, I'm like, no, it's the Cook and the Gooch. What you doing?
And you can also catch me on Highly Inappropriate on Podomatic, and you can catch me on Facebook at the Highly Inappropriate page. But again, there was an announcement. It was already in. We already announced it.
We can announce it again, but she is on the Span Network. Y'all have no idea how much I love Span. Y'all have no idea. And he is someone, and this is like, I can't believe I'm bigging him up like this, but that's because I just like Span. His dog is named Keisha, y'all. I love anybody whose dog is named Keisha. I said, this is brilliant. I love it. But if you listen to Span, if you go to some of his earlier episodes of the Span Report and listen to him now, it's like listening to two different people. And the thing I like about him is that he don't run from that. He's like, oh, I used to be extremely fucked up. And he's like, and it's not that he's being apologetic about it. He's just like, this is what growth looks like. And so that's why I appreciate Span. He's like, yeah, it's like there's no one is born woke. Nobody is born not being misogynistic, racist, sexist, any phobia-ism you can think of. Nobody's born like, oh, I don't subscribe to those things. It's like, it's no possible way, because that's not how programming and systemic things work. So the fact that, somebody like a Cook can be on that Span Network, I'm like, oh, baby, it's just making that shit just highlight and light the fuck up. I'm like, yeah. Because if y'all follow Span, y'all know what happened last time he added somebody and it was like, Span. Now Span, lean real close. Span. Now, Span, don't make me use your first name.
We talked about that, and he was just like, yeah. So he was like, I know you're not going to do that. So I was like, oh, okay. Right, because he was just like, I don't even know what to say. And it was like, and I felt so bad for him, because that's the thing, because he was just like, I know his eyes were like, wait. And people like, do you know what the fuck is on your network? God damn. So I'm trying to I want to be something like that, but a little less problematic.
Yes, she definitely is, y'all. Please subscribe. It's going to happen. She definitely is.
I'm coming. I'm making my way back. It's just been a lot with the pandemic, but also life has been lifing and Mama's been growing. So when I do come back, there's going to be hopefully some good things for y'all that you're going to like. Oh,
I already know it's going to be good things. So it's like, I'm plugged in. Just let me know when to push the button, y'all. It's like, I just know, because Cook got it. What it is, y'all know what it is. She got it. Okay, so y'all need to be up on this. I'm like, y'all need to be up on this cookie, because let me just tell you something about nuance. We swim in Lake Nuance-A-Tonka, okay? We don't do this, baby. We are not new to this. We true to this. We are too big in our ages to not realize, like, man, we used to be some nasty pieces of shit, and then we had to grow, and then we had. So the other part of growing is listening. If you are like, how do you grow and become a better person? Listen to some trans women. Listen to some LGBTQ plus people. Listen. Don't interrupt. Don't wait for a pause to speak. Actually listen. And if you can't literally listen while they're talking to you directly, listen to some podcasts where you can't interrupt them. You just fucking listen. You'll learn real quickly. It's like, oh God. I'm like, do I do that? You do, probably, if you didn't know it before.
Let me tell you something. It's all about being better than what you were before.
Correct.
And
we have language and words to put things on situations, because believe me, colorism wasn't a thing when we were kids. That wasn't the word. There was no word for it. Yes. It was like, that's it. But it's like, now you have a whole word. Because remember, intersectionality is a new word too. Some Black woman made that up. People act like she didn't, but she did. Someone actually tried to educate her on intersectionality. She's like, I'm the one that coined the term. Who are you talking to?
Oh, Jesus.
Like, these kids don't. There's some young Black girl. And she was like, you do realize I'm the one who made this word up. Or why we don't have, like, there's some people who subscribe to womanism, because womanism includes culture with femininity and not feminism. They're a womanist and not a feminist. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds
culturally
better.
A woman.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. It's yeah. So y'all, this episode is cooking and it's piping hot. It might be cut up into two. But at the end of this series that I'm having, the next person that you're going to hear is my mother. And we are going to have a conversation about colorism. So this is going to be very good because, yeah, we're in I'm close to my 40s, not 40s till August, but it is what it is. This is my 40th year. But yeah. So if I'm in my 40th, she's in a few decades ahead of me. And so colorism looked a lot different when she was younger. So we're going to have a conversation, and we are also going to talk about The Imitation of Life. My mother insisted that I watch that movie. I watched that movie because my mother told me to. She's like, you need to watch The Imitation of Life. And I did. And I was like, whoa, this is a lot.
Heavy.
It's a heavy ass movie. Oh, also Mahalia V. Jackson is at the end of this bitch. I was like, who is that? And she said, that's Mahalia Jackson. That's Mahalia Jackson. I'm like, yes. And yeah, I hope Danielle does her justice when she's playing her in that movie.
I think she is.
I think she's going to.
I think she is, because I loved that movie. Oh, and
Imitation Life is just woo.
And Mahalia, my grandma loved Mahalia.
She did.
So
my mother had, like, when she had her vinyls, I think she had a couple Mahalia records.
My grandma loved Mahalia and James Cleveland.
You ain't a churchy Black person if you James Cleveland. The Winans and James Cleveland. Yeah, if that ain't in your repertoire, are you really churchy?
Yeah. You sure you go to church? You sure?
You sure? And we not talking about CC and BB. We talking before that, okay? We not talking about the kids.
The group.
Come on.
Okay.
I'm sorry. We are a mess. But yes, Pamela is coming back to the pod. So we're gonna wrap this up. I'm very excited, y'all. So depending on how this is cut, and I don't know how it's going to be cut yet, y'all, love me through it, beloved. But thank you to the wonderful women that have been here so far. And I said it, it's a method to my madness. It's like, I love my light-skinned sisters, but when it comes to colorism, I think for some people, you confuse people actually being lost in the system of white supremacy and featureism, thinking that's colorism towards you, and baby, that's not.
Yeah.
It's not you, and I get it. It's like, but baby, you do realize darker skinned Black people were also bullied in school. So you're talking about bullying, and that's not colorism. So baby, it's two different things, baby. And I hear y'all. I really do. And it's like, this is not us going like, oh my God, no, you didn't like, yeah, but that's not what colorism. And I need y'all to say this with me. Colorism is a detriment to darker skinned people and a benefit to light skinned people. Hence, Google some activists currently. Google some activists currently and look at how they look.
Oh,
baby.
Offline.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, y'all. So we'll be so yeah, that's my little tidbit. Taria will be like, what? It's like, yeah. So be back next week, y'all. Bye.
So when you're told you're not good enough, you tell them, not only am I good enough, I'm more than enough. When they say, send her back home, you tell them, I am home. I am the foundation of what we call home. When they tell you that you're angry or nasty, you tell them that they're mistaken. This is me. This is me being resolute and standing firmly in my truth. And when they say you're not beautiful, you tell them that you are the descendant of royalty.